Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
Post-NFL Week 2, lot to react to, lot to respond to. The Chiefs have fallen. The mighty Chiefs, 0-2. A bad start to the season for them and a good start for some other teams like the Indianapolis Colts. Detroit Lions back on track. Dallas Cowboys get in the win column. Lots to do and a lot of people to discuss things with. We got Jonathan Zaslow and Steve Politziner joining in later on. Good Car and Brands president, of course, and Jonathan Zaslow, you could hear on the ESPN Radio College Football Campus Tour, which is coming to UMUF this weekend, actually. It's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, and Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. You can catch us on your radio dial, too, ESPN 106.3. Good college football on Saturday, a very good slate, and a very good early slate, early window games for the NFL as well. Sunday Night Football was a god-awful game. Everything else
Put us to bed.
pretty superb, to be honest with you, if you're a football fan and you were excited. And even my Jags lost. Terrible loss. There was a lot. Yesterday was characterized by some terrible losses.
It was.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, an awful loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Terrible loss. Jacksonville Jaguars, a terrible loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. The New York Giants, a terrible loss to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it just didn't end. The Denver Broncos, one of the most awful losses I've seen in quite some time against the Indianapolis Colts, who now rise to 2-0. The Indianapolis Colts, mind you, led by Daniel Jones, the first team in the history of the NFL to not punt in their first two games. How about that? Indiana Jones, they call him. Leave Danny Dimes in New York. Indiana Jones, they call him. The Chiefs fell to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles pretty much dominated throughout the whole way. And unfortunately, the takeaway after that game was surprise, probably could have guessed it, the tush push and the ethicality behind it, because now you have video evidence of the Eagles, the refs, basically throughout the entire game, just letting all hell break loose during that play. Offsides, false starts, illegal procedures. I mean, the wrong guys in certain spots. They don't know if Hurts is in the end zone on that 3rd and goal. It was an ugly game. It wasn't a great game, but 20-17 final. Eagles over the Chiefs. Chiefs are 0-2.
Yeah.
I think I'm closer to out than in on them. That team, and that was one of the worst games of Patrick Mahomes' career. He was terrible throughout the game. Terrible. It doesn't matter if you think his receivers are all that terrible. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. Outside of that Kelsey drop, which was not his fault, but, still. Outside of that Kelsey drop, which led to the Makuba interception, Mahomes did absolutely nothing in the game. Absolutely nothing in the game.
Did he do enough to win the game, though?
No.
Even with the Kelsey drop?
Probably not. No.
That's my only pushback.
It was 20-10. It was 20-10 in the fourth quarter.
I think also
the score is closer than the game indicated.
He was good with his legs, as he's usually. And listen, the first 2 weeks, this is the most I think I've seen Mahomes run over the last 2-3 years. But I do think there's something to be said how well that Philly defense played. I'm not out on Kansas City, Kyle, just yet, because they might be 0-2, but it's not like they're getting the doors blown off them. Like, if they were clearly the losers in both of these games, I'd be right there with you. But I thought they played the Chargers well in the international game, and I thought if Kelsey catches that touchdown, I think they win the game. I do. I think if Kelsey catches that touchdown, I think they go on to win that game. But that's why the NFL is great. Things can change on a drop of a hat, and a Hall of Fame tight end to drop a catch like that in the end zone, can't script that stuff. I agree with you. The tush push is almost to the point of ridiculousness.
Well, I was pro tush push, but until you get those video calls or the actual replays of the offensive line standing over the ball, you had both the guards in the wrong spot lining up off sides. There were clearly things wrong with the play from a technical standpoint that are worthy of flags. If the NFL or the refs are not going to officiate it, I would guarantee already that those pieces of the game film are sent into the NFL for review.
So you think what they were in your opinion, what you saw, Kyle, you think that they were doing things they usually don't do on that said play.
I mean, but they talked about it in extents throughout the game. Sometimes they just get away with it.
Sure.
But they were the false starts.
My thing is this.
They haven't always done that.
My thing is this. If you didn't ban it in March, I don't want to hear about it now.
I disagree, because now you actually have video evidence of them in a huge game. If the refs are not going to call it right, here's what you're going to do to the NFL. If you're going to send it in, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, and say, all right, here's what happened in the tush push. It obviously was a big changing point in the game. I'm not sure if they would have stopped it anyway. But the point being, you're going to referee it properly and officiate it properly. And if there is a problem here in terms of false starts, guys lining up on the wrong side of the ball, whether on the Chiefs side or the Eagles side, if you're not going to call this stuff, you can't have the play. And if you do call this stuff, then we can't say anything, because we can't stop it. If you're going to officiate it properly, because it cost probably the Eagles getting a touchdown on a play where they probably shouldn't have on that 4th and goal. And even though they should have gotten it on the 3rd and goal where Hurts was in, they basically showed he was in on the replay, and they decided to replay the down. Bizarre. But now that there's actual evidence, I don't see the NFL is going to think two ways. All right, do we put more blames on the referees and that the referees have to do this better, or do we just ban the play? They're going to think, let's just ban the play.
Think they could do that mid-season?
No, definitely not. Okay. No, but that is going to be video film sent in to the NFL in exchange for, all right, well, if you're going to do this right. I think that it might develop more steam this coming round than that last year.
Is it because this happened against Kansas City that it's getting this much play?
Maybe, but it was
because I think this is probably what coaches and staffers were arguing here in West Palm Beach.
Here's the thing. And I haven't remembered a time where it was that blatant. I don't remember the last time it was
Fair
that
enough.
blatant.
And I tend to agree with that. That
was blatantly incorrectly officiated. That was it. And the officials were a problem all day yesterday. This happens early in the year. The refs are just getting loose, just like the players are. All day, the referees they were overly involved in too many games. They were overly involved in the Carolina-Arizona game.
Oh, my God.
They were overly involved in the Jacksonville-Cincinnati Bengal game. They were overly involved in the Denver Colts game, which basically cost Denver the game. They were involved in too much. And they were involved probably a little. They probably should have been involved a little bit more in the Kansas City Eagle game. That's just the nature of sports. The referees are not going to be great there. But, I mean, a terrific day. And the Chiefs-Eagle game was the biggest game in terms of implication, but it wasn't even the best game.
No.
And now you sit here, Chiefs 0-2 for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' tenure there, and they don't have an easy schedule. So it's only going to get harder, especially in that division, and that division's pretty good. Here's the difference. The difference between the good and the bad teams in the NFL every single year is their record in one-score games. That determines whether a team is 6-11 or a team is 12-5. Every single year, it is their record in one-score games. The Chiefs are now 0-2 in one-score games, where last year they basically won every one-score game on the schedule. And now they're not winning those games, at least through 2 games. That's where I would draw the fire alarm just a little bit, because that is quite literally when teams become good or bad is how they perform in one-score games.
And it just seems like the members of that Chief team are getting old. I mean, the Kelce drop in the end zone, my goodness. Like, I love having Travis Kelce's back. I really do. It's hard to argue that. And I am a part of the crew that thinks that game is what ultimately lost the Chiefs the game. If you score a touchdown there, I think the Chiefs go on to win. I know it was still early on in the game, Kyle, but I know there was a lot of time, but like I think that momentum shift, it's something.
It cost them a touchdown.
Yeah, that momentum shift is something. And in a game where it was a field position battle and there weren't a lot of touchdowns, you got to take advantage. I think maybe Andy Reid has lost his step a little bit. Kyle, they can't run the ball. They cannot run the ball.
And they don't have playmakers.
Correct. So I think the Chiefs have to look at themselves in the mirror very long and ask themselves, what the heck do we have to do to turn this thing around? I can't count them out just yet. I can't do that. Colin, I want to.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Colin, I want to, but I can't do it yet. With everything that they've been through.
Black and white, but this team is definitely substantially the worst team that we have seen in the Patrick Mahomes tenure, by far.
Agreed. And you had week 1 where they couldn't stop Justin Herbert, and then this past week where they couldn't get the big play on offense. Outside of Patrick Mahomes scrambling for first downs and doing what he can, I'm with you. I don't think the game – I don't think he played horrible, but he didn't do anything to win the game. You know what I mean? He didn't make that crazy play. In years past, it was the crazy throw to Tyreek Hill or, oh my God.
It was misfires. To Thornton, he had that misfire down the left sideline. I know he got it a little later on in the game, but these are crucial plays in the game where Mahomes is having throwing misfires. And it's not all because of the playmakers. It's because of him too.
And Kyle, I know you think the tush push is a big part of it, why the Eagles won, and I agree. But I argue that the Eagles out-chiefed the Chiefs. Hurts threw for 100 yards. At the end of the game, he had Chris Jones going, 100 yards, bro. And Jalen Hurts going, we won the game. That's all they care about. That's all the Eagles care about.
Because you look on the other side, outside of a 60-yard touchdown to Thornton on Mahomes' side, Mahomes had 115 yards.
Right.
So outside of a Hail Mary attempt trying to get back into the game, Mahomes did absolutely nothing too. And Chris Jones is talking to Jalen Hurts, talking about, oh, you're not doing anything on offense. Yeah, he's not doing anything on offense, but he doesn't care. If he win, the history's written by the victor. You think Mahomes cared last year? All those terrible games he had? No.
God, no.
It's getting flipped. It's getting flipped a little bit. The Chiefs have now won, not one, 2 games that they would win probably 10 out of 10 times any other year. Those are 2 games, one in their building, in a crucial divisional game. They would win both those games in other years, and they did not win that this year. That's where I would get a little nervous.
And the Eagles dethroned the Chiefs, by the way. It's official.
They dethroned them at the Super Bowl, but yes.
But winning in Kansas City is officially dethroned.
Yeah, you beat them twice in 3 games.
Correct.
You can't win twice. What are you going to say now?
New sheriff.
What are you going to say? I mean, can they win ugly every game? Yeah, they'll do it. They don't care. They do not care. They haven't even done anything on the passing attack yet, and they got 2 good receivers.
Right. A.J. Brown under 30 yards for the 2nd straight game.
Doesn't matter. Saquon Barkley would say it post-game. He's like, we won. All right. We won. Saquon Barkley didn't even kill them. Doesn't matter.
That's the culture you need. And say what you want about Sirianni. Sirianni has had his trials, trust me. But wow, they got a culture there. Top to bottom.
The difference between good and bad is how you handle yourself in one-score games. That's it. That has always been the black and, if you want to put it black and white, I'm not out on the Chiefs, but the black and white in terms of whether a team is good or bad, check their record in one-score games. That is really the determining factor of whether a team is really good or not. And the Chiefs were the best at it every single year. And now the Eagles are becoming the best in one-score opportunities throughout the game. Good for the Eagles. And sitting at 2-0 quietly. I mean, it drives me crazy with that stupid tush push. And I was pro tush push. Don't stop. You can't stop it. Well, if you're going to run it illegally, then let's have a different conversation.
But it's probably been being ran illegally.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
That's the first time I blatantly noticed it. In playoff games, it didn't come up, but that was what Brady was saying. How are you not calling this?
You wonder, and I agree. It was bad against the Chiefs, and maybe this was the week that these TV companies, but like Fox and CBS really wanted to focus on it. But Kyle, do you understand what I'm saying? If you're not going to ban it, I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it. If it didn't get banned back in March, I don't want to hear it anymore.
It's not about the play. It's about the refereeing of the play. If you're gonna fine, let the play happen. Call the plays right. That you're missing blatant false starts and illegal procedures and offsides. That's what you're missing. That's 5 to 10 yards here. And when they're doing it on 4th and short, 4th and inches, they're not running that play anymore with 5 yards to go. So that changes the entire drive if they were to call things like that. That's where I think that it made a big difference.
I found it weird that this past Sunday was where we're making a stand on it now. We should have been doing this a long time ago then. That's my pushback.
Now you see it in the front and center on the Fox Game of the Week. But a lot of other good games on the other side of things. I think the big story takeaway is that Giant-Cowboy game was one of the more crazy games I've ever seen in my entire life. And it took Brandon Aubrey and some heroics and a back-and-forth overtime where nobody wanted to win the game. And then the Cowboys were eventually able to take it and probably keep everybody's survival pools available and alive. That was me included.
Didn't even give me, yeah.
But I was sitting there thinking, the Giants have every right to win this game. Yeah. Every right to win this game. They had the lead with 30 seconds left, and the Cowboys were able to get down the field off of George Pickens and kill 30 yards. And then this guy can make a field goal. Brandon Aubrey from 70 yards pretty consistently. It was a chip shot. It was unbelievable, the back-and-forth nature of that game.
Who needs Micah Parsons, man? You got Brandon Aubrey.
You got Brandon Aubrey kicked from anywhere.
You get to, Kyle, I talked about this with Christian during Theo. It's like you get the ball on the 35. You got to get 20 yards. You got 3 points. You're getting 20, 25 yards. You got 3 points. I've never seen anything like it. And then on the Giants side, it's like I think Russell Wilson was listening to the show. Pretty positive.
I mean, are you
Take
ready?
your
Do you
victory
still
lap.
want to
Go
bury?
ahead.
Do you want to bury him underneath the stadium?
It's
still?
1 week. It's
Put
1
on,
week,
Put
Kyle.
on the game of his life.
Listen,
Outside of that terrible
brother,
last
it's
throw.
1 week.
That
It's 1
terrible
week.
last throw. But they were not going to win the game. They were playing for a tie.
And we said too that he did enough to win the game. You got to give him.
Threw 450 yards. I sure hope so.
It'd be. I'd be.
He had three
Colin,
50-yard touchdowns.
Colin, I'd be stupid to sit here and not give you your flowers and Russell Wilson his flowers. I remind everybody it's 1 week though, and I think that this bought time for Dart, for the quarterback, for Brian Dable. This game is
that's the type of loss that the Giants are completely fine with.
And the one that I kept telling, and I stand by what I said, by the way, of there's a difference between saying they're going to be 0-4 and actually be 0-4. I actually still stand by that. But if there are losses like this, where your quarterback's throwing for 450, fine. Okay, you got me there. But I think this is that 1 week where the game was just on its head. And maybe Russell Wilson could go on and throw for 4,000 yards this year. I'll eat a crow. If Russell Wilson ends the season with 4,000 yards and they don't play Dart at second, I'll eat a crow. With that taken care of and out of the way, I agree with you. This was the most fun game of Sunday. Dak Prescott threw for 360. George Pickens came alive for them as well. I think every Cowboy fan wanted to see George Pickens do well alongside a CeeDee Lamb. I kind of have a problem, though, Colin, with getting the ball on the 35 and the Cowboys only needed about 20 yards. I think that's an issue. I think it's an issue with the kick return rules, and then I also think it's an issue with the balls that the kickers are now allowed to use.
It's too easy to get field goals.
Way too easy.
It's too easy.
And fair play to Jerry and fair play to the Cowboys for exploiting this.
Now, hold on. Now, the Giants just need to stop. They couldn't give up 30 yards. That was it. You got to give up 20 yards there.
But Kyle, this was one of those games.
But 20 yards, there were 20 seconds to go. I mean, you got to get a stop, and they did not. And there were times where they did. Were able to kind of stand tight. But you're right, it is too easy. But the way the Cowboys were playing and the way that defense was just getting picked and ripped apart, I mean, is the extra 10 yards really would have made that much of a difference? They probably would have gotten there anyway. That was the problem. And they probably would have gotten there anyway. The defense let them down.
It was one of those games where if you have the ball last, you're probably going to win the game.
Yeah, no team wanted to win that in overtime.
But it was like 20, to your credit. I think I saw like 19 seconds left on that clock, and the Cowboys got 30 yards. They had all three timeouts, too.
Yeah.
How rare is that? You got all three timeouts in a moment like that? And how about Malik Neighbors, dude? Russell Wilson, can
we stop? Can we stop yelling on the sideline if you're Malik Neighbors? The guy can still throw it. He'll throw it to you. You want it? All right, here's the ball.
Listen.
Be ready for the rock.
Russell Wilson was listening to R&R, and he certainly was listening to Russo and Rizzo, and he was certainly listening to Malik Neighbors throw a temper tantrum in Washington at that stadium. Because he threw it up, Kyle, was double coverage, and Neighbors just simply outran the two of them and caught it in the end zone. By the way, his mouthpiece and his glove were in his face, and he still caught the ball. One of the craziest catches I've seen in a while.
Unbelievable. Russell Wilson put together the game of his life. It stinks that he had to, it was literally a perfect game until that last throw. Till that last two possessions where, he threw it backwards because he tried to pump fake it, and then he had that terrible deep ball that it was an easy interception on the Cowboys side. Outside of those two, he put together nearly a perfect game for them.
He had the Christian punt. That's what he did.
Yeah.
He had the Christian Cat style punt.
It was just, that's true. And other than that, he put together nearly a perfect game. I mean, that's the type of game the Giants are looking for. They clearly have some talent. And you know what? The Giants' PR is only getting worse because every game that Daniel Jones wins in that Colts uniform, it looks worse and worse for the Giants.
Hang on. It's not Daniel Jones. It's Indiana Jones.
Which is the best, by the way.
Get it right, Kyle.
Leave Danny Dimes in New York. Indiana Jones is here to stay.
I'm on the bandwagon. I really am.
They haven't punted. They're the first team in the history of the NFL that has not punted the first two games.
And against that Bronco defense that everybody is, this is the best defense in the league.
Alec Pierce was all over the Defensive Player of the Year. Alec Pierce. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Kyle, that was one of the crazier games. Like, those two games in the Giants and the Cowboys and then Indianapolis and then the Broncos. Here's my pushback on the Bronco thing. Because, I'm interested to hear what you... Dude, that's the one thing you can't do. The one thing you can't do is mess around with the center.
I thought it was a stupid call.
But you understand the one thing you cannot do is screw with the center.
I agree, but he was jumping over the right guard. It had nothing to do with the kick. It made no impeding. And I realized I forgot it was a 15-yard penalty. Can't be a 5-yarder.
Made it a chip shot.
It turned it into an extra point. It was a 60-yard field goal, and the guy went wide right. He's like a 15-yard. It's a 45-yard field goal. I'm sitting there with the Broncos over at 10, by the way. Sitting there thinking, if I escape this, I'm in really good shape. And I thought I had it. and he's kicking a 60-yarder, and they called leverage 15 yards. On sports with like penalties and pass interference are 15 yards, or the spot foul. Not this. That is ridiculous. And it was a weak call, too. Oh, God, the refs were overly involved in every single game yesterday.
Dude, I was losing my mind. I remember the noise complaints I've been telling you about. I actually might be thrown out screaming at Kyler Murray in the fourth quarter of that Cardinal game.
Oh, yeah.
I might be thrown out.
Oh, and I have the Panther over, too. I just needed one game.
Kyle, you mentioned the refs being over. Did you watch the last drive for Bryce Young? By the way,
maybe the worst drive of football ever.
Bad day to be Mike Rizzo and his quarterback takes, because Russell Wilson threw for 450 and 3 touchdowns, and Bryce Young looked like the guy in Carolina.
Well, he turned it around. He had 3 really bad possessions, because those first 2 possessions of the game where he threw the interception cost him. Because then he locked in, and then that last possession of the game, hands to the face, a terrible roughing the passer call, pass interference, holding, 4th and 20, holding, refs,
wouldn't end.
Leave the flag in the pocket. Leave it in the pocket. We don't need it. That was a flag every play. Even the people in the stands were like, oh my God, just get this game on with. Get it over with. Every possession, every play for 7 straight plays. The refs were overly involved in the NFL yesterday, and I know we're beating a dead horse, but unbelievable how involved in that game specifically the refs were. It was laughable.
And then take the referees out of it. I can't remember the last time I saw a team recover an onside kick. I cannot remember.
Yeah, clear as day, too.
Clear as day. Hell of a job by their kicker. And we were in Discord watching, my brother and my cousin and I were on the same team for the Survivor. My brother was just, when will this nightmare end? Every single play was a flag. And we were just, the play would end and we would go, gotta be a flag, right? And then you would just see the yellow thing on the TV screen pop up. Unbearable to watch.
The refs were way too involved yesterday. I didn't even get started on what happened in the Jacksonville-Cincinnati game, which is one of the great disgraces in the history of mankind.
God forbid we could get the Jags to cover the 3.5. God forbid.
You're worried about that. I mean, they led every second of that game until the last 13 seconds.
Jake Browning.
Who they've lost to twice now. First time his coming out party was on that Monday Night Football game against Jacksonville. We had 320 yards.
How many times you picked that guy off, too? I mean, the fact that the Jags jagged. How about this again? The Jags jagged. The Bears bared.
When I said
the Browns brown. The Panther panthered.
When the Vikings won that game on Monday Night Football in Week 1 against the Chicago Bears, we said they only would have won that game against 4 teams.
Yeah, I gave you.
And I think you saw Jacksonville, Chicago. You could do the Browns, the Panthers.
Terrible.
That's who they would have won it against.
Terrible.
As bad as it gets.
Thank you for making us take Atlanta. Thank you, because I didn't want to take them. And they are the reason we're up.
But the Jets was my pick, too. The Jets were, forget it.
Sorry.
I mean, the Jets were god-awful.
Speaking
of Atlanta, the Minnesota game, it's funny. You don't really get a sense of it during the game nearly as much, but they've already announced that J.J. McCarthy is going to be out for a couple of weeks. Carson Wentz is going to be a starter. I'd bet right now Carson Wentz is not going to give that job back up. We'll get into that on the flip side. We got a couple guests coming up. We got do a little temperature check. And first, if you're an athlete, if you're somebody who's a fitness enthusiast, somebody who just wants to get your life nutritionally on the right side of things, Vitacost Sports Certified Marketplace. It's built for athletes, fitness enthusiasts, people who want to understand their health and understand the benefits of clean supplementation and nutrition. You could be prepping for a triathlon, just going to the gym day by day, just trying to be a little bit more health conscious. It's your go-to for leveling up your game. They got creatine, they got electrolytes, they got protein, they got basically anything you could possibly ask for, and it's basically all free and certified of banned substances. So what they mean by certified, it's free of banned substances, no funny business involved, and their new sports certified marketplace, they got over 400 products. All certified. You got nothing to worry about. Visit Vitacost.com/sport-certified to make that purchase today. That's Vitacost.com/sport-certified to make the purchase now. Use code ESPN20, ESPN20 for 20% off. Level up your game at Vitacost. Carson Wentz is probably going to be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings the rest of the year. Hate to be hyperbolic, but it's probably the truth. Russo Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Stream live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Also on your radio dial, ESPN 106.3. You heard it, the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. You've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered that slip and fall. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. They're here to fight for you. They don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you that maximum compensation that you deserve. They are the best in the business for a reason. Don't settle for just any attorney. Go for Anajar and Levine. It just takes that one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for the free consultation now. Call 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. So, we got a couple injuries on the quarterback side of things. Jaden Daniels is officially questionable for Sunday, but the Vikings already announced that J.J. McCarthy is going to be sidelined for 2 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Now, dare I say, I don't remember when J.J. McCarthy got hurt in last night's game. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't remember when he was limping around. I don't remember that. So that maybe adrenaline's a hell of a drug, and he was able to kind of respond to this. But 2 to 4 weeks, we're not going to see him. Who's their backup? Carson Wentz, who seemingly finds himself in opportunistic situations, sort of a la Gardner Minshew, and is always able to find a way to the front of the pack. And dare I say, Wentz is not any good. I've heard he's maybe a difficult guy to play with too. But if he is halfway decent, if they could win a couple games with him, they are not going to go back to McCarthy. McCarthy has played for 8 quarters now, and he's been terrible for 7 of them.
Correct. Took 6 sacks last night.
I mean, the offensive line did him no favors. But he was terrible in the game. He had no feel. I mean, he just nothing. Showed you nothing.
If I could be fair, Penix played bad too. It was just a terrible game.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's an awful game.
And Atlanta's passing attack offered absolutely nothing on the flip side.
Nothing.
Vikings can't run the ball. I mean, they're sitting there looking around, and Darnold hasn't even played great. But we had a guy last year who put up MVP level numbers, and maybe you're being hyperbolic after 2 games. I mean, but we got 8 quarters, and he hasn't played well. He hasn't even been playable for 7 of them.
Correct.
This is not just him playing poorly. He hasn't been playable. They haven't been able to do anything, and they got a good talent on that team. They're a little banged up, especially in the offensive line. Minnesota was terrible. Wentz is going to keep that job.
And especially when Jordan Addison comes back from suspension, I think Justin Jefferson will definitely be a lot better. Say what you want about Wentz, he's going to get the ball to Jefferson, dude.
That's why Darnold was great.
He's gonna chuck it. All right, that's one thing we know about Carson. He's gonna throw it. McCarthy, I don't know how to. Colin, he was unwatchable. You mentioned 7 of the 8 quarters. I agree. He's been unwatchable for 7 out of 8 quarters.
He was so bad that Collinsworth was even saying that in the broadcast.
It was a lullaby. Yeah. That game was a lullaby.
Collinsworth was 7 quarters. We haven't seen anything from him.
2 interceptions and 6 sacks. Wow, mate.
Couldn't move the ball offensively. They had absolutely no feel, and that's the quarterback whisperer they got there.
Yeah.
And they had the resurgence with Sam Darnold last year. Kevin O'Connell couldn't get anything going.
And keep in mind, J.J. McCarthy was your NFC offensive player of the week last week.
And you're playing in your home building, and the home building was so good to the point that where Atlanta couldn't even get the snap off. They couldn't even get the snap off. It was so loud, and they couldn't capitalize. Really down on Minnesota's situation there. I thought it'd burn them because I was never pro McCarthy either. I mean, it's too early. 2 games. Let's give the guy some time. But if you're Minnesota, you won 14 games last year. They didn't necessarily sign up for the quarterback developmental program.
Correct.
Trying to figure this out. Dude, that's not what they signed up. They're not bad enough to get away with that.
This is a roster that's ready to win now. The defense with Flores has been good. The 10 points in the 4th quarter, I could say, were a direct result from not being able to move the football for 4 straight quarters. Your defense can only handle so much. You got Justin Jefferson. You have an aging star still, in my opinion, in Aaron Jones. I think the Mason guy, Jordan Mason's actually pretty good as well. The issue is you have no sort of continuity when you cannot even drop back and not get sacked.
They don't trust him. They don't trust him.
6 times college,
Yeah.
6. They had 6 sacks.
He was beaten up all game, and he was not a threat in any way. He's not a threat. I mean, J.J. McCarthy's got to be one of the bigger losers of week 2 because he did not of the wins and losses. I mean, that was as bad of a loss because it didn't look pretty.
And to your credit, you're not going to see him for 4 weeks. How's that going to bode?
He played through the game. I don't remember.
I don't remember him getting hurt either. Colin,
he's out for 4 weeks. I mean, could he walk? What happened?
Got to be honest, brother. I had one eye open in that 4th quarter, and I dozed off with about 5 minutes left. Unless it happened in the last 5 minutes of the game, I can't even pinpoint it. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you get sacked 6 times. And I know you said the line did him no favors, but God forbid you get rid of the ball. God forbid you just throw it in the vicinity of Justin Jefferson. As you could tell, I'm a Justin Jefferson fantasy owner over here, too. My God, I'm kissing the ground that Carson Wentz is coming in there to chuck it.
I mean, Viking fans got to be pretty pleased about this because, I mean, if he goes in there and he's pretty good, what are the Vikings supposed to do? Hey, if we're sitting there and he comes back, let's say he plays 3 games and they have a tough schedule, but let's say he goes 1-2 and they're sitting there at 2-3 with McCarthy coming back, or let's say he goes 2-1, even better. What are they supposed to say? Carson, take a step back. Who do they have? They have Jake Browning and the Bengals on Sunday. Then after, they got the Steelers, and then they got the Browns. So if for some reason, and then they have their bye. So if they are going back to play the Eagles, how about this for a second? The Vikings are playing in Dublin and in London, back-to-back against the Steelers and the Browns, and they get the Bengals with a backup quarterback. They could go 2-1 there. They're bad, but they can. If their offense wakes up in any way,
right,
they could win those two of the 3 of those games. If they're sitting there and they're going to be 3-2 at that point, going to play the Eagles off the bye, you're going to switch out the quarterback?
Oh, no chance. And to that point about the quarterback and McCarthy.
They got Eagles, Chargers, Lions, Ravens in a row. after that bye.
Colin, how bad do you have to be to stink in a Kevin O'Connell offense?
Yeah.
Seriously, though.
He's worked with
it's
everybody.
A serious question.
They should have kept Daniel Jones around.
Right.
I mean, that guy would have.
It's serious.
Yeah.
It's a serious question. And I think Daniel Jones, Kyle, being on that roster last year and how much success he's having this year.
All Viking fans can think of is what if.
Exactly. And I think it speaks volumes to how well O'Connell can really pinpoint quarterbacks. And I know the GM deserves his flowers too. But they went with this guy. This guy.
It's so early, but
I listen, brother, early or not.
The reason I'm going quick timing on this is because the Vikings were not the Bears.
No.
The Bears were trying to figure out identity while developing a quarterback. The Vikings were an already good team, an already playoff team that's trying to insert one. You know that this roster is at least close to being ready to win.
Early, in my fight back, early or not, for a coaching staff of this caliber to try, even if he was, say he was healthy and they trot him out again next week, it's a detriment to the team. And I know we got into it about Wilson. That was the point I was trying to make. It's a detriment to the team to continue to start somebody who time in and time out has not proven himself. And certainly with a rookie like J.J. McCarthy, I think it's even a better of a cop-out to go, hey, he's a rookie. We're going to bench him. He hasn't looked good. He's going to take time. I think this injury, I don't want to call it, listen, phantom injury would be unfair, okay? But to your
He got hurt. But I'm not going to deny that. I don't remember it either.
When?
Maybe he got taped up during the game. It's an ankle injury. So if he was able to play on it and it changed it, maybe. But I thought he was he was able to play.
He's unplayable. He was unplayable. 158 yards, 2 interceptions, and then Jefferson had 81 of them. If it wasn't for a 50-yard pass, the guy would have had 70 yards.
They were doing interviews before the game.
Oh, I mean, he was the toast of the town.
What does this mean for you and your family? Oh, I love the home crowd. They didn't even stop. Oh, 7 quarters of awful football. Awful football.
NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I will not stop saying it.
Was that Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football worthy? I mean, get somebody else in there. Jeez. Unbelievable. And Atlanta wasn't even that great.
Penix was equally as bad.
He not equally as bad. He didn't
turn the ball over.
Yeah, not equally as bad. Their running attack was great.
It's the second straight week how a guy throws for under 200 yards again. Under $150.
Penix?
Yeah.
He didn't play. McCarthy couldn't complete a pass. That was the difference. Couldn't complete a pass. He's missing every possession. You have the best receiver in the league on the other side. Come on, let's focus. Before we get to break, too, I've held it back. I mentioned the refs and how they were overly involved in yesterday's game. It's a mixture of everything. Did you see how Jaguars receiver Brian Thomas Jr. handled himself during the game? He was responsible for 8 Trevor Lawrence incompletions.
It was bad.
And including an interception that he was responsible for.
It was bad.
They gave it to him on a 4th and 5, and the ball hit him in the face mask. He had 3 drops in the game. He was uninterested. Some of the worst film and the worst effort I've ever seen from a professional football player. And this is a professional football player that people thought was going to be all Pro Bowl level. LSU receiver. Jacksonville led for the entire game. Burrow goes down with a bad toe injury in the second quarter. They basically had them dead to rights multiple times. And then Jake Browning comes in. And I knew, even after that interception he had 2 minutes ago, I knew Jake Brown's going to walk them down the field and win the game. He had a 90-yard drive to close out the game.
I couldn't believe it.
A 90-yard drive. It shouldn't have been that way. They called a terrible pass interference on Travis Hunter on 4th and 5.
On the sideline, it was miserable.
4th and 5. Terrible. An awful call. It was 4th and 5. It would have ended the game.
I know.
That period. And Travis Hunter, to his credit, who played both sides the whole game, didn't play, superb, but he played both sides the whole way. And he put together a textbook defensive play. And they called the flag. Oh, my God. Now you know football's back. And I didn't have my Sunday week 1 fix. Oh, my God. Is football back after that play? I was sitting there. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Quickly, what'd you make of Cohen freaking out on Lawrence?
No problem.
Me too.
No problem. He said hit him in the chest. He was right.
He was right.
Lawrence is not a bad person to work with. Lawrence actually played a good game. Lawrence had a terrible drop in the end zone. He's got the most drops by his receiver in the NFL by a wide margin. Lawrence played a halfway decent game. It was erratic, but he played a halfway decent game.
Thomas sold him. The 2 interceptions obviously hurt.
And 1 interception was purely Brian Thomas's fault.
That's why I said he sold him. He sold them. And
they had that game. Jake Browning came in and threw 3 interceptions in 2.5 quarters.
Correct.
He threw 3 interceptions.
And they won the game. Cincinnati, how about that? Cincinnati, the way they beat Cleveland week 1, and then the way they beat the Jags, how is that team 2-0? Someone needs to explain to me how that team is 2-0.
You know, dare I say, you know, Cincinnati's got a tough schedule, but Browning's good. Browning's
he threw
good.
3 interceptions.
I know, but Browning's good. But
know,
hold on, he led them down 9. You know he's got more game-winning drives than Burrow does in his career? He's got 3 and Burrow's got 2.
Was it 2022 the year he came in and
2023.
Right, thank you. Do you want to know what he does? He's smart. He throws to his all-pro receiver, unlike J.J. McCarthy. Jamar Chase had 14 catches in the game.
And he killed him
I
single-handedly.
mean, what are we doing? So, like,
Browning's not bad. Browning is not bad. As for a backup, hold up, Mike, they're already 2-0. I mean, Burrow's going to be out to. I agree.
3 interceptions and a horrible pass interference call. They're 0-2.
Fine, I understand, but Browning is not. They're comfortable with him at a backup. They're not going to go. They're not finding a new starter.
They're dead, Kyle.
They're fine with it. I agree. I'm not high on Cincinnati. Period.
They're dead.
Jacksonville should have beaten them. I wasn't high on them with Burrow, but they're okay with him specifically. Not because he's killed Jacksonville in about 2 of his 8 starts in his career, but still.
Their over-under was like 9. I'm way under that. I think it's like 7. With him at quarterback, I think they have 5 more wins in them.
They got a tough schedule.
3 months. He's out. Kyle, he's out 3 months.
Yeah, he'll be out till, Christmas.
3 months.
A little before Christmas.
That's a long time, dude.
Yeah, it's a tricky spot. But they had the Vikings this week. You don't think that team could beat the Vikings?
God, dude.
That team might be 3-0. And then they got, then it gets difficult because then they got the Broncos, Lions, Packers, and Steelers back to back.
Are we sure the Broncos? I know we got to get a timeout. Kyle, I don't know about the Broncos. I don't know.
They got some kinks to work out. I'm not worried about them.
It's offensively, which is so weird.
Indianapolis is good. Indianapolis. You laughing. Indiana Jones
I'm laughing because I knew that's what was coming.
Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade.
And the Temple of Doom.
And the Last Crusade, quite literally.
And the Indianapolis of Doom.
Quite literally the Last Crusade. That is Indiana Jones. I am all in. I told you out to be in on it.
You did.
Fair play to you. You think Anthony Richardson would be a fat 0-2 with those last 2 games? Daniel Jones is safe. The clock's going to hit 12 with him eventually, and then he's,
Are we sure it didn't with Darnold until they made the playoffs? If it hits
he's
12
not the
in the playoffs,
maybe
they'll take it. If it hits 12,
maybe I'm wrong. But Darnold, but Jones is he's going to have.
I can't even argue it.
They're questioning.
I want to sit here and tell you how crazy you are. After watching,
they haven't punted in 2 games,
brother. I watched the debacle against the Dolphins, or rather, I watched the Dolphin debacle against the Colts, and then I watched the majority of that 4:00 game. I got nothing but good things to say about Indianapolis Jones. And I know it
was funny. Yeah. Indiana Jones and Alec Pierce were tearing apart the defensive players.
Hang on, Alec Pierce is
good
solid.
Player.
He's solid.
That's Pat Surtain, the one guy who has actually shut down Jamar Chase. Unbelievable. Indiana Jones, sign up now. Bet on that Colts Super Bowl over on the Hard Rock Bet.
All right.
Bet on it today. Hard Rock Bet. The party's just getting started. Bet $5 on the app. Go down to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. If you bet $5, you win that $5 bet. Your first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets. Obviously, you had a packed Sunday slate. I can't even imagine if you had the Giants money line or something like that, or live bet on the Cowboys when they were down with 15 seconds ago. That's all the stuff you can do on the Hard Rock Bet app. Bet on futures. Put on parlays. Check out the Discover page. See the stats page. See where all the trending money is. See where the promos, the profit boosts are. They have them constantly, and you get a bunch of bonus bets. You can bet on fights. You can bet on the UFC card. You got it all in one spot. Hard Rock Bet caters to both types of players, the new player and the old one. Try it now. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in Florida to wager. Terms, conditions apply. Concerned by gambling, call 1-888. Minute, we'll do a little John C. Cassidy temperature check, determine who was cool and who was hot in the heat of the moment. We'll do that on the flip side. It's Russo Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit signoramawpb.com.
You lather, rinse, moisturize, and repeat. At this point, you're practically training for the Shower Olympics. But here's the twist. It's not your shampoo's fault, it's your water. Hard water leaves a mineral residue that clogs your pores and dries out your hair. Culligan water softeners remove damaging minerals, revitalizing brittle hair and dry skin. Upgrade your shower system today for only $79 a month. Visit Culligan.com for more information or just say,
"Hey, Culligan man!"
Miami fans, it's Thursday night football. Join the ESPN West Palm Street team at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart this Thursday, September 18th from 8 to 10 p.m. Buffalo takes on Miami. You can enjoy $15 Miller Lite buckets and $30 Sun Cruisers buckets during the game. Enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to a Miami football game. Come hang with us at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart. Must be 21 or older to participate, and please drink responsibly.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
You want to listen to this live? You can listen to it just in your pocket. You just got to download the ESPN South Florida app, which is available, and it's on the App Store. What's on the app? Basically everything you could possibly need right here in Palm Beach County. That means you get the high school scores. If you didn't know what's going on in the Atlantic football game, it's on the app. If you didn't know what's going on with Russo and Rizzo, theoretically speaking, you can listen live throughout the whole ESPN programming on the app. That's Inter Miami, English and Spanish on the app. All the games all in one spot. ESPN South Florida app. Go download it today. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X, ESPN West Palm. The Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. Number to get into the program. Biggest surprise out of week 1. Is it the New York Giants showing a little life? Is it the actual Kansas City Chiefs, 0-2, maybe dead, maybe not? Are we done with them? 888-760-3776, the Baptist Health Hotline. In the meantime, let's do a little John C. Cassidy temperature check right now.
Keep your cool. This is the Temperature Check.
Mostly sunny today with temperatures soaring much higher than usual.
Presented by John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing, keeping Palm Beach County cool since 1960.
Plenty of sunshine today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our...
John C. Cassidy Temperature Check, of course, presented by our pals over at John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Visit CassidyAC.com for more information to find your Palm Beach County home team since 1960. CassidyAC.com. How this works, we'll go around a little bit, determine who kept their cool in the heat of the moment, who versus who did not, who was cool and who sort of crumbled. And I'll start a little bit, talk about a team that was not keeping their cool in the heat of the moment. I'm going to go to the college side of things. Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, they should have lost the game like 3 different ways in that last drive. They gave up the long kick return for the touchdown, and it was called back. And then they let A&M march down the field a little bit and score on the last play of the game to drop to 0-2. We're through 3 games, 3 weeks. And I know Notre Dame has not played 3 games, but they haven't had a win yet. And I know they've played 2 teams that are in the top 10, 2 teams that are also good, and they played them tight. But Notre Dame does not necessarily have the luxury. This is where not being in the Big Ten hurts you, because they don't necessarily have possibilities restricted to get into there. They did not keep their cool. That defense was terrible. They missed Golden, their defensive coordinator, who's now at Cincinnati, desperately. Chris Ash, who's their new defensive coordinator, was terrible. The thing is, the quarterback's good. That redshirt freshman, C.J. Carr, he's good.
Agreed.
He's rock solid. He's one of the better quarterbacks they've had in years.
Agreed.
But their defense is really where they're missing it. They have 8 returning defensive players. I mean, they have not done anything defensively.
Nothing. And I understand the Miami loss. On the road, they lost by 3. I told you if they open up the playbook in the first half, I think they win that game against Miami. I don't think A&M's a title contender. I'm going to say it, Colin. Losing to A&M at home is a bad look because I don't think they have what it takes to win a national championship.
I'm not saying, but it's a good team. That's a good team.
It is, but
that's a top 6 or 7 team in the SEC.
I don't see them as an upper echelon SEC team, and maybe they proved me wrong. That was their first road victory, AP road victory since 2014. Put that in perspective.
But one thing I'd add to that is I think Mike Elko is an underrated coach.
Yes, but he tried dude, the timeout and the first and goal situation, the fact that he got the 4th and goal was pretty ridiculous. I thought he botched that coaching-wise, but got to give him credit getting one-on-one with that linebacker.
And that quarterback, Marcel Reed, is a weird watch.
Very much so.
Because he is he's got talent. So. He's creative. It seems like he's just kind of winging it the whole time.
Right.
Very bizarre player.
But quick, I wanted to add on that because to Colin's point, that's a game that Notre Dame had more talent than the other team. Listen, Marcus Freeman kept that Buckner kid on the roster, and fair play to him. But leave it to a redshirt senior to fumble a snap and you lose by an extra point. Is that not Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame? Let's not forget 2 years ago against Ohio State where he had 10 guys. Kyle, he didn't have enough guys on the field on the final play where the Buckeyes rushed for a touchdown, game over. I mean, this is Marcus Freeman. I understand a lot of the stigmatism went away with the national championship run, but I remind everyone they didn't play Carson Beck. Beck wasn't in for that game, and Penn State had him dead to rights. I'm Big Ten Mike. I understand that. I have blinders on there, but Penn State should have won that football game.
How is that team still ranked?
I have no idea because they're Notre Dame, and I told you
they are 24 in the AP poll.
They'll lose 2 games and they'll make the playoff. And you want to know what I'm screaming from the sidelines? If they played in a conference, they still be alive. Say what you want about Clemson. Clemson's in a rut. They stink. Don't get it twisted. But they have a chance for the playoff because they play in a conference and they could have a good conference record and win the conference and go to the playoff.
I'm on the other side of that. I don't think Notre Dame, unless a lot goes wrong in terms of other teams losing, I don't think Notre Dame has much of a chance there. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I have too much faith in the committee doing the right thing. But let's think about opponents. They played 2 good teams. They lost to both of them. Their rest of the schedule, USC is ranked 25 right now. Outside of everybody else, Arkansas had they dropped out of the top 25.
Yep.
They have Purdue. Purdue's not going to be ranked anytime soon. Boise State's not going to be ranked anytime soon. NC State's undefeated, but that's a middle tier. And Pitt had a terrible loss to West Virginia. Yeah. And Navy, Syracuse, Stanford, Boston College. There's no teams here that's going to give you a quality win.
You hope, if you're a Notre Dame fan, you hope NC State keeps winning and they sneak into
the
top
25. And you hope USC
25.
doesn't lose to Michigan or Illinois.
You hope USC, who's been allergic to a big game under Lincoln Riley, can win a big game. They're done. Listen.
I think they're done. I don't know.
I say they're done, but if they go undefeated, the committee's going to put them in with 2 losses.
They are. I'm kind of out.
They are.
Yeah. I don't think they have enough here. There's not an opponents left on the schedule. This is where you get burned with scheduling 2 on the front end and nothing in the middle.
I think what'll come to fruition is that Colin, they're going to lose another game. I'm going to call my shot.
We saw that. We said that after Northern Illinois, and it didn't happen. But yes,
they'll lose another game. They didn't do it last year. I give Freeman and them credit, and I agree with you that C.J. Carr is better than Riley Leonard.
Yeah, the defense is not good enough.
But I think that they lose another game on that schedule. They really set themselves behind the 8 ball going 0-2. 2 wins. What did we learn last year? And every year's different. I get it. But if you have more than 2 losses, you're usually not.
Here's the thing: 2 wins with some halfway. I mean, we talked about the SMUs of the world, or the Penn State, or the Indianas of the world, who had 1 loss, and that was where it gets tricky. And conference championships, how do you grade that? That's a little different. This is a non-conference team with 2 losses now, and they don't have the luxury of playing a top team in a conference championship. They play one less game. I don't know if the committee is going to throw them a bone there because of, potentially taking on USC and beating them. USC, let's cut the brakes on USC, who has done absolutely nothing.
They've played
since
nobody.
They've joined the Big Ten.
And they've played nobody.
You get no read on them. Same with Penn State. There are teams on this top 25 where you have absolutely no read on them. We're 3 weeks in. You have no read. I don't know what to think about. Even Oregon, Penn State, I have no read on them. It's impossible to get a read on some of these teams.
And if I could add on that, LSU can't score. The Buckeyes looked vulnerable
but here's
against
the thing,
Ohio.
At least LSU
I think
has
all
played
these
good
teams.
I know, right,
brother,
but they
all
played these good teams.
Right.
Because that's where you get a feel for them.
Right.
We don't have a feel for the great teams, whether they're even halfway decent. And Notre Dame has played good teams. Let's give them a little credit. They played 2 good teams. Now, the rest of the way, they don't. And that's where you get burned.
Right.
And that's fine. And I'm a Notre Dame hater.
Oh, God.
I am happy to see this.
We're 2 peas in a pod.
But they did not keep their cool and were not able to rise above the adversity, especially losing last second like that. I don't care if it was a holding in that last play. I don't care. Because Texas A&M got screwed on that kickoff. So that's why it didn't make a difference to me.
Who didn't keep their cool for me? How isn't it DJ Lagway?
He was so bad.
People and
so bad.
Our boss and content director Brian Rowitz, he said something to me that stuck with me because I kind of agree. Is he DJU? Is he DJU of Florida football this year?
I mean, it's too early to determine.
5 interceptions.
Was terrible. He was terrible. He lost the game.
And how about this?
It was 13-10. He threw a pick 6.
To open up the curtain, Colin and I were on Inter Miami duty this past Saturday, and I signed off with Kyle. I go, Kyle, I think I'm going to catch the second half of the games. He goes, Mike, you'll catch the ending of the Florida game and the ending of the Notre Dame game. I saw the ending of the Florida and LSU game. I saw the final 8 minutes. The sad part is, on that final interception that really put the nail in the coffin, he was trying to throw it away, and he didn't throw it to the sideline hard enough, and it got picked off.
He was terrible.
5. I mean,
in triple coverage,
dude,
not even looking downfield.
Colin, if you get any sort of competent quarterback play, I think Florida probably wins that game. Seriously. If you get anything remotely that wasn't 5 interceptions in a game where, and poor BK, he can't catch a break. He wins these games and people still aren't happy down there in Baton Rouge. But in a game where Nussmeier played terrible as well. By the way, can we stop with the Nussmeier and the Heisman Trophy? I
think it's all these quarterbacks. Nobody's taking it.
Dude, Klubnik stinks. Nussmeier stinks. Lagway stinks. I mean, what's going on? But regardless,
Manning stinks.
And I'm worried. And we'll get into why I'm worried with the Buckeyes. I'm very worried for Washington. But Kyle, I mean, in a game where Nussmeier played bad and the offense for LSU did nothing, I feel bad for Florida fans. I do. It's only going to get worse too. It'll only get worse for that Florida team.
Yeah, and
it'll only get worse.
And even LSU only getting harder. And they already have 2 losses.
Like, what happens when LSU has to put points up and that defense isn't bailing them out? You know.
Now, hold on.
What happens when Ohio State isn't playing OU? There are questions with all these teams.
Now, Florida's defense played well. They did play well. I know LSU didn't do anything because they had every opportunity after 4 interceptions, essentially, to put some points on the board, and they could not. But it was one of those games. What did you want to see? Ole Miss, Arkansas, which is about 28 midway through the second quarter. Like, it's either one or the other. And it was a defensive field position type game. LSU got out of there. And I agree. There was something to critique about LSU. But Brian Kelly, who got into a scuffle with the reporter essentially after the game at the press conference. And you know what? Just take a listen to what Brian Kelly had to say with a back and forth with the reporter.
What are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Brian Kelly going on a tangent immediately post-game after the LSU-Florida game where they started things off by asking about the offense. Now, Brian Kelly, I'm on two sides of this. Number one, Brian Kelly did not handle this right. But number two, what is he supposed to win harder? Is that what you're asking? Win by, it should have been 35-10? Okay, well, they still won. So, I mean, there's only so much complaining you could do. Now, the problem is the reporter just goes, what'd you see from the offense? And he just goes, what? What did you say? What? The offense.
Right.
He didn't say, like, oh, the offense played poorly tonight. He goes, what'd you see? He's like, what did I see? What are you? Who are you to say, what did I see? That's where you kind of lost.
That's an issue. That's an issue. And I'm assuming he had his opening statement, and he probably, said, hey, we know we only scored 20 points. I'm assuming he addressed some of that in his opening statement. But I agree with you, Colin, from someone who's sat in those godforsaken press conferences that I think is such a waste of time half the time, asking these guys these questions when they're not going to give you anything. Regardless, you got to handle it better as a head coach. And you're coming off a big win like that. Just deal with the 3 or 4 questions and move on. Let the writers write. As long as you're winning football games, everything's going to be fine. The last pushback I have on this is Nussmeier was supposed to be this Heisman Trophy quarterback. He was coming back. There was a lot of hype. The offense looks like crap, be honest.
The good news is that they're 3-0 and they have time to figure it out.
Correct. And they're winning like Les Miles used to win at LSU. Les Miles, their offense would put up 18, 20 points, and their defense would win them football games. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And for BK to just get completely so damn defensive, I didn't understand.
Yeah, I mean, are you going after, not like it's a surprise, but are you going after Lane Kiffin for giving up 40 points to Arkansas?
Right.
For the same way, what'd you see? They're not leading that press conferences. What'd you see from the defense tonight? They're talking about the offense there. That's where the hypocrisy comes in because LSU is expected to have a great offense. Ole Miss is not expected to have a great defense, yet LSU is probably a better team than Ole Miss.
And on the flip side, Kyle, the Georgia and Tennessee game, defense was optional.
Yeah,
and
did you open that press conference with Georgia, with Kirby Smart, and say, what'd you think of the defense today? They definitely did not.
And Georgia, I've told you, mate, I thought Georgia had a top 4, top 5 defense. I mean, oh my God, what's the difference between Ole Miss and Georgia's defense after this past week? I mean, honestly.
So that's where offensively I have less worries about them figuring it out than certain other teams, figuring it out defensively. Because Ole Miss's defense is not going to be good all year. And that's where I sort of understand Kelly's perception is, hey, I'm winning the game. We won the game. It was not necessarily that challenging. The defense played great. We do what we have to do to get to that point, and we won. But he's right, though. You can't just ask about the offense and then blow up. You can't be that thin-skinned about the situation. And if you are that thin-skinned, if you need to maybe get your blood pressure checked, you can probably go to Men's Only Medical to get that figured out.
Absolutely. And it is your one-stop shop for men's health needs. I mean, folks, you see all these clinics, these wellness clinics available for women at their disposal. Well, we finally got one for the men. This is on Dixie Highway. My good friend, Dr. Al. For me, I'm focusing on weight management and nutrition. I've been telling Colin, I've been telling Christian, I've been telling everyone here in the office, the last thing left is the love handles and the bottom of the barrel, as I call it, the belly fat. That's the last thing that is left. It just will not go away. I'm figuring that out with Doc Al over at Men's Only Medical. And they do so much more than that. It's concierge healthcare, folks. It's concierge healthcare, the one-stop shop here in South Florida at Men's Only Medical. You could do skin assessments, hair loss solutions, heart health. They got everything you need. And I'm taking steps with Doc Al to prevent things that are going to happen down the line when I'm in my 50s, when I'm in my 60s, when I'm in my 70s. I got my blood work checked out. There's something on there that we didn't like. Well, guess what? I'm taking steps to eliminate what we saw right there in my blood work right now when I'm 30 years old, so it's not a problem down the line. That's my good friend Doc Al over at Men's Only Medical, your one-stop shop, your unique one-stop shop for men's health. Visit them on Dixie Highway. You could also visit mensonlymedical.com. That is mensonlymedical.com to learn more. Doc Al, man, he's a local guy. He's a Newman guy. He went to UM. He went to Miami. Take a visit to Doc Al at Men's Only Medical.
You get the fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet coming up at the 6 o'clock hour, too. So up till 7, we got you on ESPN 106.3. We're looping Christian Cat into the conversation next to a little 5 and 5. Stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Don't fumble your finances. Whether you're running a business or running plays, Jay Zolo and Associates keeps your books tight in your stressed life. With nearly 30 years of experience, Jay Zolo is your go-to coach for QuickBooks, offering expert consulting, one-on-one training, and full-service bookkeeping. Jay Zolo and Associates, simplifying your books so you can win on and off the field. Visit jzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Gators fans, you still have 4 chances to catch Florida football live in the Swamp this season. Don't miss the Texas game on October 4th, homecoming against Mississippi State on October 18th, Military Appreciation Day versus Tennessee on November 22nd, and Florida State for Senior Day on November 29th. Visit FloridaGators.com to get your tickets today.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia.
Are you tired of the hassle of buying a car? At Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach, we're changing the game. No pushy salespeople here, just friendly product specialists on salary here to help you find the perfect ride. With over 500 vehicles in stock and a goal to sell 250 by month's end, that means incredible deals are waiting for you. Forget the back and forth negotiations. Once you pick your dream Kia, you'll work with one manager the entire time, making decisions on the spot for a smooth, stress-free experience. We'll even handle the paperwork, your tags, insurance, and every detail. Need help learning all the features? We'll schedule a post-delivery session when it's convenient for you. And if you can't make it in, we'll bring a new Kia right to your home or office for a test drive. Plus, for a limited time, you'll see the factory invoice right on the windshield of every car in the showroom. Visit Greenway Kia today or shop online at GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long-distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Looking to elevate your brand? Whether a small business, a nonprofit, or a national event, Team IP has you covered. Our corporate and digital divisions offer custom apparel, promo products, and POD e-stores with no inventory, no warehousing, and no fulfillment hassle. Just thousands of brands and options at your fingertips. We're proud to be partners of ESPN West Palm, and we're ready to be on your team. Visit teamip.com, where teamwork makes the dream work.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com, pbhnphysiciangroup.com, to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
How'd you get your money so quick?
Hard Rock Bet's got lightning fast withdrawals.
Almost as fast as Dale Jr. valeting cars at this party.
Man, he's fast.
Hard Rock Bet's fast withdrawals have given me new motivation. Tips are appreciated.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Marlins fans, the final showdown is here. Catch the Fish when they take on the Mets September 26th through 28th. Friday, enter the Upside Down and score an exclusive jersey on Stranger Things night. Saturday, party it up with Rawayana during the last Celsius postgame concert series of the season. Plus, grab your shot at 2026 World Baseball Classic tickets and a photo with the WBC trophy. Close out the season with us. Get your tickets today at marlins.com/tickets.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Follow to the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. The second hour of which on September the 15th, a Monday edition 2025. If you missed any of the show today, you missed any of the program, you go listen back. Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, just search up Russo and Rizzo. It's the fifth hour, presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage. We got Christian Cat behind the glass with the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Christian, welcome in. How are you? What's going on?
Doing spectacular. Man, I got these new shades at where I live now, and it's too easy to sleep in.
Window shades.
Yeah, like it just keeps it so dark that it's more and more enticing to hit snooze on the alarm and not get up to go to the driving range like I planned to do this morning, but did not.
I'm not a fan of good shades because of that very reason.
I'm the same way. The reason I have them at my gaming setup. I do not have them in my room because I will sleep in. The light is like a natural light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a natural, hey, it's time to get up. 7:30, Christian, is usually when I get up. Sometimes I snooze for a half hour. Sometimes I snooze for an hour. 8:30, though, out of the bed. What time are you usually up at? When do you usually get up?
At my old apartment, I would be up at 8 o'clock every single day without needing an alarm. Now I will sleep in until 9:30. One case at 10 a.m. I had to rush to get to work in time.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I think I just need to take my blinds off and let Mother Nature wake me up.
Or just get up when your alarm goes off. No?
Nah. Too past that now.
Where's the fun in that?
I am always, to that point, now that I think, I cannot tell you the last time I didn't hit snooze, dude. I cannot tell you.
You at least get an extra 5 minutes. Always.
Cannot tell you. I'm 30 minutes.
You're not even getting good sleep.
It's 30 minutes.
You're not even getting good sleep.
The hell I'm not. The hell I'm not, mate.
You're not even getting good
the
sleep.
hell
you know
I'm
what?
not.
The real test is going to be tomorrow because we got this doubleheader from Monday Night Football. So we got a 10 o'clock kickoff.
I mean, listen, now that we're back in season.
I got a tea time tomorrow morning. Damn, I got no choice.
We're back in season of sports going really late, especially on the Eastern clock. I got two things here before we get to the 5 at 5. Number one, no Monday Night Football, no NFL football game should start at 10 o'clock.
Agreed.
That is the dumbest thing in the world. I don't care who you're catering to. 70% of the viewing audience is on the Eastern Seaboard. I cannot listen to the fact that we need a game at 10 p.m. That's number one. That's a waste of time. That game's going to end at 1:30 in the morning. That is a waste. I mean, it better be a bad game because I have no interest in staying up for that. Number two, it happens only twice a year. You can't complain about it too much, but I am not watching every UFC fight card per week. The UFC deals with the same thing. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford was the big boxing match over the weekend.
Was it good?
It was a good fight. You know, Terrence Crawford dominated him, but it was on Netflix. And it was interesting, seeing it was at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Ton of celebs. Felt like a big boxing match. And you haven't had that in a couple years, I would say, since Fury Wilder. But they did the walkouts, which is a part of the production. That's a 30-minute warning if I've ever seen one, at 12:45. They did it at 12:45. I was watching Cal, Minnesota, third quarter, and that was carrying me through because I was waiting for Canelo to start.
That was a terrible game, too.
But the Cal quarterback's very good, by the way. JKS, the true freshman from Hawaii, the lefty. But point is, that game, that walkout was at 12:45. The fight started at 1 in the morning, at 1:05. And it was over. The fights are over fairly quick once they start, but they never start. That was ridiculous. I turned it off the second the unanimous decision came out. You have no interest in seeing post-match because you're so tired. It's 2 in the morning. I don't care that it's Saturday. fight should not start at 1 in the morning. That was ridiculous.
Actually, I did hear about the fight because who texted us about Max Kellerman? Wasn't he on the? I haven't
saw him on
seen
the
him.
broadcast.
Had not seen him, and whoever said it, I didn't know he was still around.
Where
I didn't know. I didn't know
Did he move on?
No, no, not that. I
better
didn't.
place.
Yeah.
I didn't know what network
he
worked for.
Yeah, he hasn't been doing a lot of sports media stuff. But he was on the broadcast for that. And they had John and Nick, who does the UFC. And it was a weird...
John and Nick? John Anik?
Anik. They had him do it, and he's not used to those guys.
Regardless,
and there was a choppy broadcast, but you can't start that.
Yeah,
Good
agree.
for Kellerman being back, though.
That's why I said it's a guy who we used to see every single day. I haven't seen him about 2 years, so it was good to see him, on a broadcast.
Fights should not... I know it only happens a couple times a year where there's a must-watch fight. Oh, my God. It does not need to start at 1 in the morning. That is ridiculous. And you knew what the fight was going to go after the 5 rounds. After 5 rounds, you knew Crawford was going to win. After that round, you knew that. And he completely dominated Crawford, and he went up 2 weight classes to beat him. Unbelievable. At 2 in the morning. Done with it.
You were still up.
Because of that.
You were still up.
I went to bed immediately when
you
it was
wanted to watch that fight that bad, huh?
Yeah. And I was, first of all...
Did it disappoint? Was it
No, it was good. It went the distance.
Who won?
It was
Canelo?
entertaining. No. Terrence Crawford won.
Okay.
And it was a really entertaining fight. It was skilled. They went after each other. But, I mean, Crawford just, outfought him. Let's get to a little 5 and 5% about Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
Well, the biggest injury news from yesterday was Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. It is what we expected. He will undergo toe surgery and will be out for at least 3 months. What was your first reaction when you saw Joe Burrow hobble off the field in Cincinnati yesterday afternoon?
This has been the story of his career. He is 1 season on, 1 season off for 6 years. He is either hurt or he's playing great, otherworldly football. This is one of those years where he's going to miss the majority of the year. This is the 3rd time. He misses games, and you could blame the Bengals offensive line because they don't protect him too, but he's also a little injury prone on top of that.
Yeah.
He had the wrist thing. He's a little injury prone, but also the Bengals got to do a better job of protecting him. Jacksonville was all over him. And the second Jake Browning comes in, all of a sudden the offensive line locks it in. Now, the one thing I'll say is Browning came in, and Browning was able to win the game, and he didn't get, destroyed in the backfield as much as Burrow was. It's very bizarre why Burrow always gets beat up behind that offensive line, but it's a shame because it kills the Bengals season a little bit.
Colin hit the nail on the head as far as the injury and Burrow and the injury proneness in the offensive line. But, Christian, ask me the question one more time.
Okay, what was your reaction to Joe Burrow getting hobbled off the field?
Surely the Jags are going to cover the plus 3.5.
Number 2.
That did not happen, as a matter of fact. But we continue on to the 5 at 5, presented by Flagler Credit Union. Eagles Chiefs yesterday. The Eagles got the 20-17 win on that primetime 4:25 kickoff. Should they finally ban the tush push? We saw repeated replays. Even Dean Blandino, the Fox, right? Yeah, he was on that one.
He was.
Complaining about it, how he's a little bit over of the tush push because of how you can't officiate it. Should that play be removed from the game because it can't be officiated correctly?
Now, I don't know if this was NFL sending a memo to the broadcast crew saying speak negatively about it so we could ban it, but I've never seen a broadcast speak so candidly about how sort of, wishy-washy the actual play was.
Correct.
They were very forthcoming and transparent about what they thought about that play. They're like, I don't know what to do here because that they should have called that. Hey, they should have called that. I was team keep the tush push because they can't stop it. But if you're not going to officiate it correctly, I switch. Formally, I switch. If you're going to
putting in your transfer papers.
If you're going to allow offsides, standing over the football, false starts, if you're going to allow that, you're not going to officiate it properly, don't have it. And I don't think the NFL would ever blame the refs, which is why that would make me nervous if I was the Eagles fan. It's not going to happen until after this year, but I officially flipped that that's how they're going to officiate.
My big thing, I thought it was really weird by the broadcast to really focus it. To be honest, I didn't see anything I haven't seen in the last 2.5 years on that. So, that's why I find it awkward that the broadcast really focused in on it as much as they did, because my pushback is it's been happening for 2.5 years. And that's why coaches and teams were really on to ban this. And I find it ironic that Green Bay was the team that was really going to bat to ban this. Lo and behold, fast forward, Christian, 6-7 months? Green Bay and the Eagles look like the top two teams, and I think they're probably going to stay there throughout the season. Granted, we got to see the season go on, but it looks like Philadelphia is still going to be able to use the tush-push if they do end up facing Green Bay in the playoffs. I know it's a big jump. I know it's a big stretch, but the team who wants it gone the most is probably the team that is still behind the Eagles when it comes to being one of the best teams in the NFL. I don't want to hear it because you didn't ban it here in West Palm Beach. You should have banned it before the season. I kind of blame the TV network because you're going to focus in on that when he didn't do it for 2.5 years now. That was my issue.
And it just officiated right. That's all we're asking. It's not officiated properly.
We're saying that, but to Christian's credit, quickly, you're saying officiate it better because the broadcast decided to really focus in on it. Where was this a year ago? Where was this 2 years ago?
They should have been. The Chiefs were lining up in the neutral zone. It was both sides. Just call it once, and then the guys are going to line up and do it properly. Or at least you're going to cost somebody a first down.
Christian, I feel like this isn't the first time, though, that things like this have happened. And that's why I think teams were complaining when they were here in South Florida.
It's the closest thing to rugby that we have. It really is.
Which, it's the different sport, though. It's not good.
I don't want to hear the crying.
If I want to see rugby, I'm going to watch rugby.
Guys, we should have banned it then. We're going to cry about it now?
I cried about it then, too.
I'm not saying you didn't.
I
but
thought
you
it was
get what I'm
fine
saying.
because I was always under the impression that they ran it properly. That was the first time I saw them. It was.
That's right. If they're just good at a quarterback sneak, okay. But they are deceiving the officials by getting a head start more often than not. Which is the problem.
It seemed like someone put in a ticket to Fox that said, make sure you put the kibosh on this.
I think we're going to see it next week. I think it was too loud and too obvious and too talked about on the broadcast for in week 3. Who do the Eagles have? Probably someone important. I think they're going to talk about it. And when I say talk about it, I meant to say officiate it correctly and give warnings beforehand. I think you're actually going to see a scale back.
It's a good game. Home versus the Rams, a rematch of the NFC semifinal.
Yeah.
Right?
They're not going to get away with it as much.
I agree. Officiate it better. If you officiate it better twice, they're obviously the teams are going to adjust. So that's where you could, if you really want to make the Eagles feel it, all right, call them for the first 2 times they do it because you probably know they're going to do it regardless. Yeah. Call them for false starts.
That's true, and that backs them up 5 yards. They can't run the play next.
It anymore. Yeah. And then third time they're going to do it, they're going to fix it. So that's all you need to know.
I just go back to this has been happening for years. They decided to focus on it now. By the way, divisional round rematch, Rams and Philly.
Number 3.
How about this game between the two teams that Peyton Manning played for in his illustrious career? Happened in Indianapolis, 4th and 9, Colts ball, 60-yard field goal for the win. No leverage call. They're going to get a re-kick after that 15-yard penalty. And here's the second try for Indy.
Spencer Schrader. It's good, and the Colts have won.
Colts win the game. They beat the Broncos. Colts are 2-0. Broncos are 1-1. As Colin brought up before, the Colts are the first team in NFL history to not punt through their first 2 games. Broncos-Colts final score. Is that a bigger story for the Colts or the Broncos?
I mean, the Colts are the beneficiaries of that stupid leverage call. You know, it's only been called 51 times since 2010. 51 times. So not a lot. That should not be a play that decides a game. My opinion.
Can't do it, though.
It's not. But the point is, it's not.
It's the unspoken rule. You can't mess with the center.
It's not consistently called enough.
It's a spoken rule. They spoke the rule.
It's not. It's too inconsistent
Fair
of
enough,
a call.
Christian.
I'm sure that the
Call
center
me
is
out.
touched. We could go probably through every single field goal of last week, and I'm sure that there is some touching of the center in every third field goal. The fact that it's inconsistently called should not call it.
Christian, what? Can you ask me the question one more time?
What's the bigger story? Broncos losing, Colts winning.
Ta-na-na-na, ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's the Indiana Jones theme song. It's definitely Indianapolis. I mean, my God. Indiana Jones, baby. Daniel Jones. Who would have thought? Who would have thought,
Jonathan
man?
Zasso came on this program and said
thought?
Shane Steichen was going to get fired after he benched Anthony Richardson. What do you think he's thinking now?
You want to know what he's thinking? Indiana
Jones.
Fortune and glory, kid.
The Last Crusade.
Fortune and glory.
Always had a soft spot for Danny.
Really?
Yeah. He shows up and plays. You know, he shows up.
Here's a paycheck.
He shows up. He shows up.
It's Blake Bortles.
He shows up.
Remember when Blake?
He is a little Bortles. He has a soft spot for players
Remember
like
when
that.
quickly? Remember what Blake Bortles said? What would you be doing if you weren't in the NFL? Probably working construction, ripping cigs.
Danny
One of
Jones
the best
is somewhat
answers
similar.
of all time.
He just shows up.
Ripping RCs.
I want to see you guys.
No funny business. Doesn't
Ripping
say anything to the
RCs.
media.
Yeah.
He's good with fans. Like teammates like him. Yeah, you know he's Bortles. That's a very good comparison.
I want to see you guys put your cover 5 picks where your mouth is next week. I want you to have Indianapolis on your card.
Okay. I mean, we'll
take a look.
We'll see what the line is.
Real easy to sing the theme song on Monday.
Christian, we'll take a look. We've been
they-
terrible.
They got,
We
the,
have been
they got the
terrible.
Titans next week. They're favored by 3.5. Sign me up. Indiana Jones. Clock's gonna strike 12 with him eventually. You know, like it's just gonna happen.
Might be the Darnold effect. Might be in the playoffs.
Let's go to college football. Let's go to Saturday. The biggest game of the noon slate. It was Georgia Tech. Only 3.5-point dogs at home against 12th ranked Clemson. Take it away on ESPN. Or not, or the computer will freeze. Well, Georgia Tech beats Clemson on a last-second field goal.
Fire
Clemson loses again. They are 1-2, and like you said, Mike, it was fun. No timeouts. Still ran a play, ran the field goal unit out there, kicked it for the win. Is Dabo counting his days at Clemson, or is this going to rough spot?
Hey, Colin, let me add another part to that game. Would you have called the timeout if you're Dabo Sweeney to stop the fire truck field goal and make him think about it? He had 2 timeouts that he didn't use.
That kid was probably going to make it regardless. I understand. I think about it in the moment. You'd probably let them do it freaking out, and you probably would too.
Lo and behold,
they're too old. They're too used to that.
How about that coach? Apparently they were practicing that all week.
Yeah, Brent Key.
Fair play to that
guy is going to get a big job.
Fair play to
when
that guy.
Napier gets fired, that's you call.
To answer Christian's question, Dabo will be there as long as Dabo wants to be there. I mean, you fired Dabo and you're starting again from scratch.
I mean,
you're starting from scratch.
And Georgia
again.
Tech is awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
They are awesome.
And no offense to Clemson fan, you're not Michigan, you're not Ohio State, you're not Notre Dame, you're not Alabama, you're not LSU. Who are you going to get? Who's going to leave their job to go to bum you know what? What is it, South Carolina? I don't even know where the hell they're at.
Clemson, South Carolina.
Greenville, South Carolina.
Sorry, I don't
right
even know
around
where
there.
the hell they're at. All I know is they do some ridiculous bus tour before the game. I'm down on Clemson. I've been down on Clemson, and I didn't expect it to be this bad. I expected them to lose the first week to LSU, but I thought they would beat up on the ACC schedule and sneak into the playoff.
Georgia Tech's very underrated.
This is dead. I think you want to know what we're finding out? Fair play to you, because I got to give you some flowers here. I question the ACC as a conference. They look pretty good. They do. With Florida State, with Miami, Georgia Tech is dangerous. I feel like there's a lot of teams you don't want to see in the ACC.
Georgia Tech took. They always take it to Georgia every single year. That's going to be a team that conferences look at when they look to expand.
The bottom half of the ACC is better than the bottom half of the Big Ten right now.
Number 5.
Number 5.
We're going to stay on college football Saturday, where there were 2 big-time games for the Big 3 as far as D1 Power 4 Florida schools. Miami, the 5th-ranked team in the nation, blew out the 18th-ranked USF Bulls 49-12 in a lightning delay lengthened game at Hard Rock Stadium. And the number 3-ranked LSU beat Florida 20-10. Lagway had 5 picks. Who did you learn about more? Florida in their loss on the road in Death Valley, or Miami with their blowout win at home against USF?
Second straight week that DJ Lagway has been a major problem. He's going to have to do a little bit of resetting here because a lot of those top-end quarterbacks, including and especially him, have really let their team down because that Florida team played pretty tough. You got to give them the credit there, especially on the LSU end of things. They played pretty tough, and that Lagway really let them down.
Yeah, I think Miami, Christian, because I learned enough from Florida from that loss at USF. I learned that they're not the best team in Florida, and they're probably not going to be competing in the SEC. It stinks, but it's the harsh truth. Billy Napier is Billy Napier, and I give Florida credit for bringing him back. I do. It was the right move.
Right move.
But you cannot lose to USF, and I hide under a blanket knowing that they got to play the schedule that they play with the teams they face. By the way, A&M, too, who just beat Notre Dame. I learned a lot more about Miami because I think Miami is the top 3 team in the country.
That was our 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union. We'll take a time out here. On the flip side, we'll game plan for greatness. Stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or BradleyAir.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Canes fans, this is the one you've been waiting for. Miami against Florida. 2 powerhouses, 1 massive showdown. The Canes take on the Gators this Saturday, September 20th in a night game at Hard Rock Stadium. The game is nearly sold out, but there's still time, so don't wait. Get your tickets now at MiamiHurricanes.com/football tickets. That's MiamiHurricanes.com/football tickets, and go Canes!
The Pink Smoke is taking over South Florida. Listen to Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba and Inter Miami in their pursuit of an MLS Cup all season long right here on ESPN 106.3.
Messi, left foot, in on Guzan, tips it up and over, it's a goal! Lionel Messi is on the board!
Listen to it all on the ESPN South Florida app, brought to you by PNC Bank, Audi, and Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur, and most certainly never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. We got Monday Night Football tonight. We got a doubleheader. Unreasonable 10 o'clock kickoff for the second game, but let's game plan for it. Let's game plan for greatness with Men's Only Medical.
Men, games aren't won on Friday night. They're won Monday through Thursday.
You find out life's this game of inches.
It's about preparation. It's about discipline. And it's about showing up ready to dominate.
That's gonna make the difference between winning and losing.
And now, your game plan for greatness. Brought to you by Men's Only Medical. Visit mensonlymedical.com.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Let's go play some football. Let's go, baby.
Folks, you heard me talk about Men's Only Medical. It's your one-stop shop men's health clinic. Visit mensonlymedical.com to learn more. That is mensonlymedical.com. Dr. Al, local guy you could trust, mensonlymedical.com. All right, I got one. It's Baker Mayfield. My game plan for greatness for Tampa Bay is to just keep doing what you've been doing the last 2 years, trusting Baker Mayfield. I am very high on Tampa Bay. I told Colin, I told Christian before the season. I hammered their over. I hammered them to win the division. I think tonight's a tricky game. I think the Texans need the game being at 0-1. And I think Tampa Bay, who's riding high after that big win at Atlanta divisional game, who looked pretty good, by the way, on Sunday Night Football, I think it'd be a statement to win on the road versus the Texans, who I see as a playoff team this year. And my game plan for greatness for Tampa Bay is to keep it simple. Let Baker cook. Let the chef cook. I'm on the Buccaneers side.
Yeah, biggest question is about whether the Texans are any good or not. You know, the Texans can't do this experiment the whole way. I mean, they probably thought going into the season the division's not going to be nearly as good. We could probably escape with 10 wins. I'm not so sure anymore. With Indiana Jones in the last crusade up in Indianapolis, and you got Jacksonville, who should be 2-0, and they're not, unfortunately. But you got those two teams who are probably going to be in the thick of that 9-10 win range. It's going to be a tricky division to win. So because of that, I think you're going to learn a whole lot about the Texans tonight. Key for them, can they wake up offensively? They have enough talent. Can they wake up offensively? I think that's the key. I mean, it's not like they're getting shut down every step of the way. Just wake up. I mean, after what they did 2 years ago, that's going to be the key.
And then, Kyle, my last game plan for greatness, the Raiders. I'm going to make it very simple, exactly how I did with Tampa with Baker. Let Geno cook. I mean, Geno Smith, 362 yards.
Yeah, I could see this one being a high-flying one.
362 in week one. Let him throw the ball. And then Justin Herbert was, the darling of the AFC, beating Kansas City in an international game, something that never happens. Kansas City is always great in those godforsaken games. But the Chargers, too. I'm looking at all the what quarterback match? You got Baker versus CJ, and you have Justin Herbert versus Geno Smith. And to go quickly back with the Texans, Count, I'm wondering if CJ's good. I'm at that point with CJ.
The offense needs to wake up.
Yeah.
They need to wake up.
But those would be my two game plan for greatness.
Yeah, I could see that being a little bit of a flying back and forth offensive matchup. You hope that the Chargers don't have a little bit of a hangover after that huge statement win. It'd be classic Chargers to go in and drop this one right after going 1-0 against Kansas City. That's the one thing I'd be worried about. But I do anticipate the Chargers will win this one. I'm not as high on the Raiders as Mike is, but you got to respect Geno and what they've been doing there. That was our game plan for greatness, presented by Men's Only Medical. 2 games Monday Night Football, which I don't necessarily know if I love.
I do.
If they did it 7-8, I would like that. I would like 7-8.
Here's the issue. They couldn't make it 7:30 because I got to go home. You know, we got to go home at 7 o'clock. I'm going to miss the first couple of drives.
I'm okay. Say 7 and 8:20. That's how they should do it.
No,
because they're be a quarter and a half behind.
They want each game on in its separate moment.
Yes, but I mean,
but I'm a night owl. You're not a night owl. You wake up at godforsaken 3 in the morning.
I don't need NFL football at 1:30 in the morning.
I'm up till 2 a.m. every night.
I don't need NFL football.
Realistically, I'm up till 2 a.m. every night and get 6 hours of sleep.
Breaking news.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
A couple of quarterback injuries in the NFL over the weekend, so a couple of teams that might want to look into the free agency market to look for a quarterback. Can I interest you in Tom Brady? Because Tom Brady is coming out of retirement. He's going to be playing in the Fanatics Flag Football Classic alongside Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, C.D. Lamb, Max Crosby, Gronk, Sauce Gardner, Myles Garrett.
I see what you
in
did
Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia?
He's going to be there next March. It's his first football action since retiring 3 years ago.
They're just doing that so they could stay on the list at that whiteout party with Michael Rubin. That's the only reason they're doing that.
Colin, and I thank you for opening me up to that because I have no idea why the hell Brady would be doing this. This is such a waste.
He does it because he's buddies with Michael Rubin, and Michael Rubin runs
How
that
do we
party.
become buddies with Michael Rubin?
We can figure that out.
Okay.
We go to Saudi Arabia. We go to the only people in Saudi Arabia who are going to go to that game.
Oh, okay.
That's what we do. That was our breaking news. We got to talk to Steve Palazzino, the Good Karma Brands president, Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer. That's on the flip side of Russo Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
Every great performance starts with a plan. Your game plan for greatness begins at Men's Only Medical. Dr. Al is redefining men's health with concierge care and cutting-edge treatments tailored just for you. From anti-aging and weight management to cardiovascular health, skin, and hair, they've got you covered. Expect personalized care and advanced technology to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Visit mensonlymedical.com. Men's Only Medical, setting a new standard for men's health.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. If you missed any of the program today, you can listen back in podcast format, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just go to Russo and Rizzo. Get Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. And we also have the Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer himself, the Good Karma Brands president, Steve Palazzino, with us now. Steve, welcome in. How are you?
Gentlemen, great to be with you.
Steve,
Thanks for having me.
You were at the Tundra Trio up with ESPN Wisconsin for the Packer game last Thursday. How was that?
Great weather, great vibes, football. It's funny, I was sitting with somebody from LA, and he said, there's something really strange here. And I think all football fans should take a minute to just think about this, appreciate this. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I live in LA. I've never been to a professional football game where nearly everyone was rooting for one team.
That's a good point.
It was unique.
That's LA for you. That's SoFi Stadium, which is,
it's unique for LA people, but
That's my point.
Yeah.
I mean, you should feel good about the majority of the teams. It's not like that. I mean, today's day and age, fans travel more. You have more people transplants, but again, in Wisconsin, even though it's obviously a bucket list sort of thing, and I did see some Commanders fans, I mean, that was 98% Packers fans.
And I'm sure everybody in that building, everybody you probably spoke to that is a Packer fan, is probably drinking that Kool-Aid quite a bit about what Green Bay can do this year. I mean, they got to be riding high. That's got to be the most – and they're already an optimistic bunch. I can't even imagine what a Packer fan is thinking right now at this point.
Oh, my God. I mean, look at that. Absolutely. Because – they feel like the offense has even been benefited by this. I was around a former Packer Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winner, tight end. He was a Packer Hall of Famer, and tight end Mark Chimera. And he was comparing it to Reggie White, when he was on the team when the Packers signed Reggie White. And he said, just the shot in the arm it gave everybody, because the defense was so hyped. It made the offense more hyped. It made the special teams more hyped. And everybody said it isn't one of those things where, all right, we're on this unit, you're on that unit, as is regularly in the NFL, that it just galvanized the team, because if they give you that feeling of, all right, defense, if we don't get it done here, we know we got the defense, or we know we're going to get chances because, the defense is going to be getting them off the field. So it just kind of like it all compounds together. And that's what I think you're seeing right now early on from the Packers.
And, of course, we had this full packed Sunday slate of NFL football, which is really good. I mean, you want to mention some positives to take away. How about the New York Giants surprising some people, going head-to-head with the Dallas Cowboys in one of the more classic back-and-forth affairs, bizarre games you could possibly imagine, with Russell Wilson looking vintage, throwing for 450 yards. Did you watch that game?
It was one. Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. So I had that game on all day. I don't know if we're going to revisit what games you put on what TVs and what makes you a sports fan, as has been a constant debate on this show. But that was one of the best losses. That was a needed loss. Obviously, they needed to win, but they needed to play the way they played to even justify that there's a season. If Russell Wilson goes out and tanks, I think the entire Giant trajectory goes in a different direction, because you might have to pull Wilson. Although, and I know Dart played, but with how bad that offensive line was, and I'm not only talking about Hudson's 4 penalties in a row, you might not even be able to play Dart. You might have to play Winston. You might fire Dable. You might fire the offensive coordinator, Kafka. There's so many different things that could have happened if the Giants didn't get off, didn't show anything, and at least there was like a glimmer of hope. Also, Neighbors would have been disgruntled. Neighbors had an incredible game. So at least there's a little bit of hope that even if the Giants are going to stink, and their defense is going to be better than they played, they're just on the field so much that at least there's a little bit of a glimmer of hope, and Wilson doesn't look completely done like he looked week one.
Steve, what'd you make of Aubrey and the crazy field goal and the new kicker rules where they're allowed to use these juiced up balls? Did that bother you as a Giant fan?
As a Giant fan, like the Giants didn't get it. Auburn's not the only one using a ball that way. It's the times. I was telling my kids, I was watching the game. I remember Tom Dempsey had that record for 30 years, 40 years, and now it just gets broken every day because the conditions, the ball changes, the strength of the kickers, the leg preparation. Like they're breaking these every day. That 64-yarder was good from 70 plus.
Right.
And then to make him one again to win the whole thing. I'm into returns. I'd like to see guys maybe a chance to block them a little bit more. Like you had in the one game where the Broncos game. I'd like to see
that
some
stupid
way
leverage call. That stupid call.
I'd like to see that change, because we're going to make it so much easier for kickers to make them. Make it a little easier for them to get blocked. That's one thing I'd like. As far as the returns, love it. Love anything it's still weird to look at, but I love anything that stimulates returns. What I don't love is people who don't know the rules. How do you not know the rules that if the ball lands in the zone, that's a live ball?
You talk about Caleb Johnson. Oh, my God. One of them are terrible ways to lose a game. They were getting the ball back after going down 17-14 with 12 to go, and the guy gives up the touchdown. The game's essentially over at that point. That made me sick for a Steeler fan, too. In that building, oh, God.
Know the rules. I know the rules.
Steve,
it was like last Monday night. It was like, last Monday night, I was watching the Manning cast, in the Bears-Vikings, which now seems like, 9 months ago. But at the very end of that game, Peyton had it. He said, if you kick in the end zone, they're running it back. Kick it out of the end zone. And Peyton knew it, but Ben Johnson didn't know it.
Steve,
it's unbelievable.
He knew it, but
amount of coaching.
As our Giant fan, Caleb Johnson, as our Giant fan with us now, does it bother you having Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, the new resurgence, the Last Crusade? Does it bother you seeing him play really, really well, really capable with Indianapolis?
I liked Daniel Jones, the person. I had no use for Daniel Jones, the player. I don't think there's any way that if he was on the Giants this year, he would be performing like that. I'm happy for him. Let him go somewhere and do well. I mean, but if I'm going to bet, he showed those glimpses. I don't think he ever put 2 weeks in a row like this, but he showed those glimpses. He even had a couple great games last year. We go back and look at the Giants-Seattle game last year. He showed some glimpses, but on the whole, I still think Daniel Jones will win a Super Bowl, and it will be as a backup.
Wow.
I'm not buying him as a playoff quarterback.
Okay. Well, he won a playoff game with the Giants, but also, Saquon left, has a career year. Daniel Jones leaves. Even you can loop in the Jets. Sam Darnold leaves, has a lot of success. Xavier McKinney leaves the Giants, has a lot of success with the Packers. I mean, I'm just looking around here. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Steve, Indiana Jones is the new he's here, and I got to give them a lot of credit because everybody wanted Steichen out and basically fired after benching Anthony Richardson. Now he looks like the smartest man in the room.
He does, and right now they stunning over the Broncos. Like the way and Jonathan Taylor, I feel like was a forgotten guy somehow. But don't you feel like in fantasy drafts, his name wasn't talked about? Oh, I got the 6th pick. I have to take Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he's a reluctantly picked player. You're right. That's exactly right.
It seems like people are just like out on him. And right now, he and Etienne Woods, they're the NFL leading rushers. I'm sorry to bring up a Jag because I know this opens the door for Colin, but these guys look good right now.
Steve, they didn't cover
Not McCaffrey, not Derrick Henry, not Saquon. Like in terms of, there's only 2 guys that have 200 yards rushing in the NFL.
Steve,
those are the 2.
That was a godforsaken game, that Jaguar finish.
They didn't cover 3.5.
I don't care about the
starting quarterback went out.
It wasn't a pass interference. You had Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. I implore you to go look at some of the film on him and how he didn't even try in the game. But nonetheless, Steve, what's going on with Duffy's?
Oh, what isn't, guys? You know Duffy's, and I know Duffy's. But does everyone else know Duffy's? Because they have it all this football season. The new football features, like the barbecue pulled pork nachos. How about the hand-cut tortilla chips, the slow-cooked pork shoulder, the Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce, the barbecue rub, the creamy queso blanco, crispy onions, and jalapenos. Then make you want to go get some Duffy's right now because, there are a zillion Duffy's locations. So there probably is one close for you. 2-for-1 drinks as well. Game day buckets for your football, for your sports viewing pleasure. And, of course, 80 TVs at all Duffy's. No one does it like Duffy's for football season. Visit your local Duffy's Sports Grill. At Duffy's, our game is always on.
Steve, we appreciate it as always. Appreciate the insight. Looking forward to talking again next week and go Knicks, right?
Bye, guys.
Bye, Steve.
Steve Politzino, the Good Karma Brands president, Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Fame. We love having him on as always as we close out here on the Russo and Rizzo side of things. But stick around because just after this, up until 7 p.m., up until that Buck game, you're going to have Bucks Texans. You can listen to that right here on ESPN 106.3. But until then, you got myself and Mike for the 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet, which is coming up the whole next hour. We'll talk about some of the biggest winners and losers of Week 2. We'll get into the college slate and what the biggest surprises were on that front. We'll do some of our best underdog bets, and we'll make some picks for tonight's games. You got a doubleheader to look forward to. Got a doubleheader to preview. That's all coming up for the next hour. Stick around. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate everybody being aboard for the first 2 hours. But you got one more up to come. If you missed any of the Russo and Rizzo, listen back. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. The Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. Who are the biggest losers of Week 2 NFL? We'll get into that on the flip side. 5th quarter coming up. It's Russo and Rizzo saying so long in just a couple minutes on ESPN 106.3.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Brought to you by FDOT.
You told your friends you were hitting the gym. We both know you meant the drive-thru. No judgment here. Hi, it's Evan Cohen with some life advice. Just throw away the burger wrappers before you get home. Your secret is safe with us. ESPN 1063. Leave a nugget in your pocket for later.
Miami Dolphins football is back at Hard Rock Stadium. The party starts the second you hit the lot and doesn't stop till the final whistle. There's nothing like experiencing Dolphins football live. Single game tickets are on sale now with options for every budget, from the 300 level to our luxury offerings. Turn Sundays into something unforgettable. Secure your seats today. Visit MiamiDolphins.com/tickets and get ready for game day.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
The pink smoke is taking over South Florida. Listen to Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba and Inter Miami in their pursuit of an MLS Cup all season long right here on ESPN 1063.
Messi, left foot, in on Guzan, tips it up and over, it's a goal! Lionel Messi is on the board!
Listen to it all on the ESPN South Florida app, brought to you by PNC Bank, Audi, and Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath.
Miami fans, it's Thursday night football. Join the ESPN West Palm Street team at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart this Thursday, September 18th from 8 to 10 p.m. Buffalo takes on Miami. You can enjoy $15 Miller Lite buckets and $30 Sun Cruisers buckets during the game. Enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to a Miami football game. Come hang with us at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart. Must be 21 or older to participate, and please drink responsibly.
The 5 p.m. hour is presented by Good Greek Moving and Storage, the world's only total relocation company. Local or long distance, they've got you covered.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Putting the ball behind the keeper takes lots and lots and lots of tireless work that leads to something brilliant. It's the same with PNC Bank. They take a smart, practical approach with your money so you can score brilliant financial goals. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. Visit pnc.com/brilliantly boring. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Don't fumble your finances. Whether you're running a business or running plays, Jay Zolo & Associates keeps your books tight in your stress light. With nearly 30 years of experience, Jay Zolo is your go-to coach for QuickBooks, offering expert consulting, one-on-one training, and full-service bookkeeping. Jay Zolo & Associates, simplifying your books so you can win on and off the field. Visit jzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio
The
station.
following is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during this program are solely that of the hosts or guests of this program and not of ESPN 1063 or Good Karma Brands.
Yeah, here we go!
2 hours are not enough.
And that'll do it for regulation.
Welcome to the 5th quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Take this one to overtime.
Russo and Rizzo bring you the stories, the takes, and the breakdowns that go beyond the final whistle. We head into overtime. The 5th quarter starts now.
Keeping things rolling here. It's the 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. We get Damian Perez with us behind the glass at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Damian, welcome in as always. 888-760-3776. A packed week 2, an exciting week 2, and an exciting week 3 of college football and the NFL. So you had a lot of football over the weekend, and we got a lot to talk about. First, go download that Hard Rock Bet app today because the party's just getting started. Bet $5 on the app. If you win that first bet, that first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets, and that's that easy. So all you got to do is win that first $5 bet, get $150 basically on the house on the app. Check out the stats page, see where the money is, see where the trending picks are, or check out the Discover page. You can see what other users are putting together in terms of parlays, in terms of props, whether they're mix and matching different NFL or MLB picks, or even the college side. Now that the MLB is in the last 2 weeks of the regular season, you know what games are important for certain teams. Because of that, you could have some fun in terms of what teams you're betting. This is not game 104. This is now game 150. So now it's getting very down and into the distance on the MLB side of things. So take a swing on that as well. Get a parlay, stinger them together, get your increased odds out of it. Hard Rock Bet, it's your place to be. If you want to bet live, you want to bet future, you want to bet current, and you want to bet tonight. Hard Rock Bet is your place to be. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in Florida. The wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Damian Perez. Biggest losers and winners of week 1. Mike, let's go through it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the biggest winner of everybody, and they won fortunately, which is unfortunate, which is I'm annoyed about.
Cue the band.
But that biggest winner for me has got to be Indianapolis. Daniel Jones was a huge winner. That coach is a huge winner because everybody wanted to call. People were calling for his job 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks before the regular season, they announced Anthony Richardson was not going to be the starter, and we were ready, hang him up and see us, Shane Steichen. Now all of a sudden he's a genius.
They were calling for his job, not really because of what was on the field. It was only because of Anthony Richardson. Let's call a spade a spade. It was because of how bad Anthony Richardson looked and how involved he was with Chris Ballard, the GM, taking him when they did at number 4. But I agree, there is no bigger winner than Indianapolis being 2-0 with Daniel Jones. We've seen this trend. I mean, Darnold with the Vikings last year, Baker Mayfield 2 years prior when he had his original come-out year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, it's right on trend with what's been going on with the NFL, and I don't care. Listen, and tell Denver that the one thing you can't do, and I understand, was it a bogus call? Was it an what? Bro, you can't mess with the center. That's the one thing you cannot do.
I think it's a bogus call, personally.
No, it's the one thing you can't do. And give credit to Christian. I said it's the unspoken rule. No, we know it's the one rule we all know on a field goal is that you cannot mess with the guy snapping the ball. I can't feel bad for Denver in that. Shame on them.
It's just an erratically called penalty. It's never called every play. You'd have to really pay attention. I'm sure something goes on touching the center every single time. I just hate that they called it to decide a game. It's only been called 51 times in 15 years. 51 times out of thousands of games, they have called it 51 times. That is why I don't like it.
Every time it's called, I feel like we're all sitting here in a big moment going, ugh.
Disgusting. It's a disgusting penalty.
Well, guess what?
It's a disgusting penalty.
Now
over.
It's not Daniel Jones anymore. It's Indiana Jones with one of the best theme songs of all time. I'm going to keep riding that, brother. I'm going to keep riding.
One of the big losers I have for week 2, I stay in the NFL for right now before we shift to college eventually. The Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a very ugly game, back and forth, sort of trying to grind out touchdowns throughout that first half. You get to that third quarter, and Pittsburgh, Darnold had not played well, at least through the first half. Pittsburgh, back and forth. Rodgers can't really get much going. We hit the fourth quarter. Seattle gets a field goal in the early part of that first drive of the fourth quarter to take a 17-14 lead. And if you didn't see it, they kick off the Caleb Johnson, who is the rookie running back, who is the kick returner for the Pittsburgh Steelers, did not realize that ball is live no matter what on what happens on kickoff. And the ball kind of rolls by him. He thought it'd be a touchback, end of story.
Dude, it hit him in his face.
And it hit him. And he thought just because it was a kickoff, it didn't matter. And he just walked off like nothing happened. And the Steelers ran down the field and got a return touchdown. Just like that, 24-14, the game was effectively over.
Yeah, correct. I mean, the Seahawks recovering that ball in the end zone was all he needed. Now, Kyle, all they needed, excuse me. I told you before the year that I thought the Steelers could win a playoff game with Rodgers at quarterback. This comes from Zach in Strongsville, big Steeler fan. The Steelers defense in their last 10 games, 10 straight games of allowing the opposing offense to gain 300 yards, longest streak in the NFL, allowing 27.9 points per game, wash, rinse, and repeat. We fell victim to the Steelers, too, because we took the Jets against the Bills. We thought, wow, the Jets were able to put up points against that gaunted squealer defense.
And it turns out that defense
that defense stinks. And the Jets, their quarterback got knocked out in the third quarter, in the second quarter, whenever Fields went out. Regardless, I agree with you. Pittsburgh is a disgrace. Well, listen, what Mike Tomlin does, though, is win games, goes to the playoffs. So, like, they're probably not dead in all reality.
No,
Like,
yeah,
was this a bad loss?
Bad loss. Terrible
Were they
loss.
a fat loser in week 2 in the NFL skill slate? Absolutely. But I think the underlying numbers of that Pittsburgh defense, it's a little shocking. It's a little shocking when you got players like Watt, Jalen Ramsey, Cam Hayward, their linebacker core, which is stacked. Like, I don't know what's going on there.
Very bizarre.
And Kyle, if I could pick one, I mean, it's got to be Kansas City, no?
Yeah.
I understand, like, and the reason I put them under the biggest losers, this is the first time since 2014 that the Chiefs are starting 0-2. They've won the division every year since 2015, 2016. And I know, Colin, you said they got dethroned in the Super Bowl. I'll listen to that. But I think they truly got dethroned because they lost to the team that they got bamboozled by in the Super Bowl. And then they lose to them at home with having Jalen Hurts only throw for 100 yards.
And
they got out-chiefed.
2 games later.
They got out-chiefed. The Chiefs got out-chiefed. The Eagles didn't do anything crazy offensively. Saquon didn't even have 100 yards rushing in the game. They got out-chiefed. And I felt bad because, he's a Cleveland guy like myself. Travis Kelce dropping that ball in the end zone. They lost the game there.
That was,
in my opinion,
killed the game.
That's where they lost the game. We could sit here and talk about tush push, how it's unfair. They need to ban it.
That game killed the game.
Throw all that garbage out.
100%.
Kelce dropping that touchdown and getting intercepted by Mokuba really changed the whole game.
That was the game. That was the game right there. That's where you realize that the Chiefs were in a lot of trouble. 0-2, Mike hit it right in the head. The fact that the Chiefs are now losing games that the Chiefs usually win should make you concerned, because that's the whole reason the Chiefs were the Chiefs, where they were able to grind out games left and right, winning in any fashion. And now they've gone 2 straight games here where it was ugly and they didn't win.
Right.
They got away with it last year, ugly, and they did win. Now it's starting to sort of bite them back in the fanny a little bit that they haven't been able to steal these games. I know it's against 2 probably playoff teams, but the point being, you still got to be a little nervous, at least to this point. Another big loser I got, Chicago.
Okay, all right. I was making sure you were going there. I was pointing at you to make
Chicago.
sure. Wow, dude.
Let's do this.
31 points.
You can't even bash. I mean, can you bash the offense of Caleb Williams? Yes. What is he supposed to score 58 points in Detroit? Let's be real for a second. The Lions, and they did not take the foot off the gas, and the Bears rolled over and quit.
Yeah, and they asked Ben Johnson about that after the game, and he basically just said, hey, that's Dan Quinn. I had no problem with that answer.
Or Dan Campbell, yeah.
Sorry, I always get that mixed up.
It was 21-14 at some point in the second quarter. They just couldn't get anything going. And the Lions just kept scoring, and then all of a sudden when it got to 2-3 scores, it just kind of looked unreachable. And the defense especially, oh my God, could you do anything you wanted on that Bear defense? Anything you wanted. Didn't matter how good the play calling was, clearly not. It didn't matter how good the rushing attack was. They could air it out. Goff played a perfect game. Played 23-29, 5 touchdowns. He sleptwalked through that game and dominated. Oh, my God. Chicago's a huge loser here.
Colin, 5 touchdowns.
Huge loser here.
3 of them to the same guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I fell into the Bear trap before the year, and here we are in week 2.
0-2 in the division.
Colin with the rope, trying to pull my butt out of the trap as I'm in a stranglehold by a bear. This is a disgrace. I mean, all I had to hear all offseason, and then granted, I'm still friends with my buddies in Peoria and in Chicago. Like, they got in my ear too much. I had to hear all offseason how the defense, this is finally the year for the defense. They finally got the coach on the offensive end. Caleb's the guy. 0-2 and 0-2 in the division. Those are truly the biggest losers.
Yeah.
The truest, biggest losers are the teams that are 0-2 in their own division. Colin, the Browns season is already over. How about that? I'm 2 weeks in, and the Browns season is already over. It must be nice to root, at least for you. Like the Jags. Colin,
don't give me an at least, and it's Jacksonville. Don't do that. That's not even fair.
You have a chance to win 9 or 10 games this year in that division. I don't. That team is done.
Well, I could have told you that 2 weeks ago.
But at the same time, as I always tell you, there's a difference between talking about it and being here now. I'm done. Guess who we got next week? Take a guess. Do you want to guess? The Packers.
Yeah.
You think that team's beating the Packers? There are a ton of losers on the NFL slate, none of them bigger than my Browns. 41. They hung 41 on you. Joe Flacco.
Here's the thing. You're not surprising anybody.
Joe Flacco, who's supposed to take care of the football, not turn the ball over. He's a veteran. I'm ready for Shedeur Sanders yesterday. I'm ready for Dylan Gabriel. Something different than that. Now I understand why Indiana Jones is in Indiana, because Flacco can't play anymore.
That's who the Browns should have went and got. Brian, the thing about the Browns, you knew this. You deep down knew this. You were drinking
41. 41.
You knew they weren't going to go. You knew this. You knew this.
Dude, it was a 3-point. It was like a 7.
I know.
And
the Ravens started piling it on probably when the game was over. That game was closer than the score indicated.
And then I got to look at that, the brown paper bag. Like, dude, they celebrated their 30 years. Oh, it was miserable. Miserable Sunday for me. On top of that, Manchester United, too, losing 3-0 to City in the Derby. I was a mess yesterday. It was a mess.
Some terrible losses. The Browns, you're not surprising anybody, though. We knew that the Browns weren't going to be good. I didn't think the Jags are going to be good, which is why I was pleasantly surprised. And all of a sudden, the early part of that game, I thought they were going to the Super Bowl. And then they just start trickling it away. And then you realize that, oh, God, same old.
But they covered, right?
3.5. Terrible.
Unbelievable.
90-yard drive to finish off the game.
And to lose by half a point. I had everybody, Kyle.
They led for the whole game.
I was the ring.
They led every game except for 20 seconds.
With our good friends at Hard Rock Bet, I was the ringleader in our group chat. I'm telling you guys, Jacksonville, Burrow goes down, all the boys giving me giving me the victory high five. Oh, Riz, good call. I know you couldn't have tell that Burrow would have went out, but we're going to cover. We're going to win. No, 90 yards.
Can you imagine taking Denver at -1.5, and they were up 28-26, and then all of a sudden they missed a field goal, and then you call leverage 15-yard penalty.
Well, that's I said unspoken rule. That's the one spoken rule that you can't do.
Stupid.
Last thing on the Jag game, and I promise. Guy threw 3 interceptions, and you lost the game.
Terrible.
And then that bogus pass interference.
They got a pick with 2.5 minutes to go, and they were in at the Bengals 15, and they did not get points. They went for it on 4th and 5. They threw it to what is supposedly supposed to be a Pro Bowl receiver, and it hit him in the face mask. They turned it over on downs. The Bengals go right down the field with a backup quarterback, convert a couple 4th downs, and that game is over.
Game should have been over 4th and 5. There was never pass interference on Travis Hunter.
Terrible.
Miserable.
I give Hunter credit. He played both ways.
Miserable
He
call.
sure did. I mean, I don't know if he was in the stadium offensively, but he played well enough.
He was, They need to figure him out offensively. And I'm sure
that's
going
to take time.
I'm sure
he's an impossible person to sort of deploy.
If Brian Thomas is going to have the ball go off his face mask and lose his money, they're going to need to figure it out sooner than later.
8 incompletions due to
figure
Brian.
it out. Throw the ball to Hunter, then damn it.
Yeah, I agree.
Give him those routes.
Jags lead the league in drops. They have 8 drops through 2 games.
3.5. They lost by 4. Come on.
8 drops. 8 drops in 2 games. That doesn't kill us because remember on the Cover 5 app, we're just going against the spread per game.
I had some Imperial credits on my personal account too. I had some intergalactic Imperial credits on the personal line.
You got burned. God. Yeah, Jacksonville's a big loser as well. And now they got the bad, nobody knows what's going on with Cohen. After the game, Cohen addressed the media and they released the video of what Cohen was saying in the locker room to the team, which I've never seen before. And it was basically like a post-game speech, all the buzzwords, compete, together, fan. He's just saying a bunch of, what you'd expect. And they released it on social media, the Jags social media team, basically how he addressed the team post-game after a loss like that. I've never seen that before. Teams usually don't talk, don't share anything.
But I feel like it sounded like the Jags were embarrassed they lost that game. They were very embarrassed to the point where they felt they needed to have coach, on video saying that it's not acceptable and they're going to work through it. Fair play to him, dude. That hurt. That really hurt.
I actually thought the head coach had a good game. He had a couple bad calls, but he had the good game. It was everybody else. It was everybody else.
Really
that was a terrible loss. As bad of a Jags loss as I can remember. Yep. Since that Patriot AFC title game, that is as bad of a Jags loss as I can remember. Yep. That's how much that bothered me. And that's when football's back. When that's eking at you. Oh my God, what a terrible loss. Now they got the Texans next week. We'll see if they can.
Well, we'll see a lot about the Texans on Monday Night Football tonight.
That's the real question. We'll get into our best Monday picks on the flip side. We'll also get into some of the biggest underdog bets that we could have taken from throughout the weekend and what we'll do on the flip side. First, a couple more winners and losers on the college side. We've talked about Florida a little bit. They're a huge loser. We talked about Notre Dame a little bit. They're a huge loser. Can we feel for Tennessee for a second?
I can. We were getting ready. We were getting things set up for Inter Miami while watching that game. And you told me bad false start on that bad false start on that field goal.
They were about to kick the field goal. It was a 40-yarder. And then all of a sudden they get a false start. That throws off a kicker's mode. You know that. The second that happens and he's mentally locking in, and then you got to move back 5 yards, it completely screws everything up. You knew it was a bad feeling right when that happened. So I really think that was the crucial point in the game, was that false start before that Max Gilbert kid on Tennessee missed that chip shot, and then it went to OT. And then once it went to OT, you knew that it was done.
But also, like, in a game like that, for Tennessee to settle for 3 on the first possession, you knew it was done. You knew Georgia was scoring the moment they got the ball.
They requested the ball. They wanted it. They didn't want to.
And they took 3.
It's better to go. Some people say it's better. It's better to go second because it's 4 down territory.
Well, you know what you got to do.
It's 4 down territory.
And you know what you need.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah. But, I mean, the thing about Georgia, you got to give them a lot of credit, is, drive of their life, Gunnar Stockton, who is, people have questions about as that quarterback. 4th and 5, maybe the best throw of the weekend. Under the right sideline, 30-yard pass on 4th and 5 to score a game-tying touchdown and then get the 2-point conversion after to tie it up at 38 apiece. As good of a game as we've seen all weekend, back and forth, Tennessee punched first. Tennessee had every right to win that game.
They did.
And they never beat Georgia, and that was a program win if they could have churned that out.
That was the 9th straight win Coach Smart has had over Tennessee.
Yeah, it's been
9 straight.
It was years. It's been like 2017, 2016.
It's almost been a decade, dude.
Yeah.
9 straight.
Yeah.
Next year will be 10 years in a row.
2016 was the last time.
To your credit, Gunnar Stockton, man, 304, 2 touchdowns. And Branch, how about that? The transfer receiver from USC, Zachary Branch. I mean, Georgia had a huge problem with dropping passes last year.
Yeah.
Didn't see a lot of that in hostile territory.
I mean, the great environment. That was a classic college football game.
It was, but my God, can we maybe get some defense?
Yeah.
85 points scored. Georgia's defense that I called top 3 before the year gave up 41 points.
Laughable.
Kirby Smart, and I know it went to overtime, so, 38, but still. A Kirby Smart defense giving up that much points.
And the last one here before we get to break on the biggest losers and winners and losers from the weekend of football, it doesn't matter that they played nobody, and it doesn't matter that they won the game. Texas against UTEP.
I'm worried.
People played that game. The Texas played that entire game, and they won by 17 points. And I imagine everybody in that stadium walked out with a pit in their stomach thinking, this team is not any good.
I'm worried.
This team, we're watched 3 games so far, and they haven't wowed you in any way. Arch Manning, 11 for 25, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and, of course, he had the 2 rushing touchdowns. No doubt he's a decent runner. He can't throw.
No.
Can't throw.
And I am being...
Shame on media. Shame on us.
Correct.
For being so high on him, thinking that he'd be the next big thing.
Being a Buckeye hunk that I am, I think the Buckeyes might be a little overrated after that Texas team and what they've been.
Every bad loss that they have looks worse on you guys. Yeah.
It's like they didn't lose these games, Kyle, but it seemed like they lost some of these games with how bad they looked against these godforsaken state teams. You know what I mean? And then for saying to throw 2 picks against OU, not to get too into that, folks, but I think there are a lot of overrated teams right now. And once conference play really starts to get going, we're going to find out.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
We're going to find out.
It's going to be a bloodbath because you get the teams that didn't play anybody in the college slate, the Oregons and Penn States of the world. Then you got everybody else who played tough out of conference, but none of the quarterbacks playing well.
Right.
None of the notable what we thought quarterbacks were playing great. Obviously, the kid from Baylor, Sawyer Robertson's playing great. The kid from TCU's playing great. The kid from Cal is playing great. The Indiana guy is playing, a high school from down the street next game as they're out of conference. I mean, so I can't get a read on Indiana. And so from there, none of the quarterbacks have played great.
And quickly, like the LSUs and the Ohio States of the world, who's scheduled, like Kyle, air quote, tough opponents. How tough is Clemson and how tough is Texas?
And Florida, who's probably going to be
Exactly. So,
you can't do anything about that.
You can't. You play who's on the schedule, and that's why I'm getting.
You schedule this 5 years in
advance.
Correct. What are you gonna do?
But it's just I cannot believe the fall from grace with Texas. That's the craziest thing about it is the Texas.
So I'm not. And listen, I am team. If you win the game, you win the game. I said the same thing with LSU. I don't want to sound hypocritical. LSU won that game. They beat a Florida team. They beat an SEC team. You walk away with your head held high. I don't care how the offense looked. But if you're Texas, you need to show the fans something of offensive competency, and you're against UTEP. That is the rare exception where I don't care if you win by 17, you need to win that game by 40 because the team needed it. The program needed it.
Or at least, at 30. Three score.
It hasn't looked easy for Arch Manning yet in his career. And that is a major problem.
Correct. Correct.
Hasn't looked easy one time. And with the teams that these programs schedule, it should. On the flip side of the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet, we will do the best underdog bet from the weekend, what we could have won if we'd taken it, and we'll take our Monday night picks, which is all coming up and a lot more. We got to preview the 2 Monday night games, which is starting in just about 40 minutes, that Buccaneer-Texan game. Stick around for it. The fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
What if every use of your debit card turns spare change into something meaningful, like growing your savings and supporting local community causes? With Flagler Credit Union's Impact Checking with Everyday Change, your spare change can have big impact. Each transaction can be rounded up to grow your savings and support nonprofits that provide meals, shelter, and essential services locally. Make an impact in your life and in your community. Open your Impact Checking account today. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia. Are you tired of the hassle of buying a car? At Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach, we're changing the game. No pushy salespeople here, just friendly product specialists on salary here to help you find the perfect ride. With over 500 vehicles in stock and a goal to sell 250 by month's end, that means incredible deals are waiting for you. Forget the back and forth negotiations. Once you pick your dream Kia, you'll work with one manager the entire time, making decisions on the spot for a smooth, stress-free experience. We'll even handle the paperwork, your tags, insurance, and every detail. Need help learning all the features? We'll schedule a post-delivery session when it's convenient for you. And if you can't make it in, we'll bring a new Kia right to your home or office for a test drive. Plus, for a limited time, you'll see the factory invoice right on the windshield of every car in the showroom. Visit Greenway Kia today or shop online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
In sports and in life, how you move matters. So when injuries or pain get in the way, the orthopedic specialists at HSS Florida provide world-class care to get you moving again. From non-surgical and surgical care to personalized rehabilitation, HSS Florida offers the same quality and expertise you expect from HSS, the world's #1 in orthopedic care. With 2 convenient locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida. Choose better, move better.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Whoa! Jason Kelsey just found out that NFL Sunday Ticket now lets you subscribe month to month.
Yeah!
He just realized you can join and cancel anytime.
Ha-ha! Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now he just found $1 in the sofa.
Yeah!
And he just saw a great parking spot open up. Look, just because Jason's easily excited doesn't make NFL Sunday Ticket month to month any less great. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel anytime. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season. Cancel anytime. Terms and embargoes apply. No refunds. Commercial use excluded.
The game's in the books, but the story isn't finished. This is the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
All right, after we're hindsight 2020, we're smarter now that we know what underdogs were the ones to pick over the weekend. Let's get right to it. The fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Damian Perez at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm. All right, so after week 2 of the NFL, week 3 of college football, some of the big upsets of the weekend. Imagine if we parlayed that together. Let's see what the potential odds would have been. Number 1, let's call it like we see it. Indiana Jones. That would have been great. If we took the Colts, who were an underdog in the game, even at home against the Broncos, that would have been a good underdog. So let's add that to the parlay. Colts to win straight up against the Denver Broncos would have been a heck of an underdog parlay. Number 2, let's get on to that. Who do you think? The biggest surprise, I guess, against the spread was probably the Giants. Huh?
Yeah.
That was a 6-point line, 5.5-point line.
5.5. I lost that.
And they covered. So let's go the Giants there for surprising some people. They should have won straight up. That would have been a heck of a bet because that was like a plus 200, plus 175. But the Giants to cover too. That would have been the big underdog of the weekend, at least in the NFL side of things. College was a couple to choose from. Let's get Georgia Tech out of the way. Brett Key, head coach, Georgia Tech. Haynes King, who's been in college for about 17 years. Goes through 16 rushes a game in between the tackles. Got to respect that. Georgia Tech to win straight up. That odds was about plus 130, I believe, against Clemson to win straight up, which I thought it would be bigger than that. It wasn't. But that would have been an interesting one there. On top of that, we also have the Ohio game. What was that spread?
It was 32.5, Cal.
So Ohio State almost covered there, 28.
Correct,
But
they
Ohio did cover. Imagine if we'll take Ohio there because that was a good cover with that big line.
Yep.
Another one, UTEP. That line was 40.5.
It's unbelievable.
40.5.
That was the one.
If we lightning bet that one and cover 5, we would have gotten 23 points there. That would have been a heck of a bet.
It really would have been. And I think a lot of it obviously has to do with the lack of offense, dude. There is no offense right now for those Texas Longhorns. They got receivers. They got running backs. They're loaded at the O-line. The issue is quarterback, and I cannot believe that's a conversation after 3 weeks in college football.
UTEP, Ohio, Georgia Tech, Giants, and the Colts, Indiana Jones. Damian or Perez, our producer behind the glass, what are the odds there if we put, let's say, $10 into it?
If you were to put $10 into that parlay, the return would be 188.
Oh.
So plus 188, is that right?
Yeah.
Go get a steak and some lobster.
Wow. 10 to 188. Imagine if we put 100 in that. Ooh.
Get a steak dinner.
More than that. That was our underdog of the weekend parlay. Obviously, let's shift into what we're going to see tonight. One thing about Monday Night Football, we talked about it a little bit. The Monday night doubleheaders are a waste of time. Waste of time.
I'm a night owl. I personally love it. 2 football games tonight. Right when I get home tonight, I get to watch 2 football games.
7's too early.
Good news is, on my way home, I get to listen to it on ESPN 106.3.
I guess you can, but it's too early. That game should be starting at 8:20.
I think, Kyle, at least with Texas and the Texans and the Buccaneers, can the Buccaneers carry over that momentum after beating a divisional opponent on the road? Very impressive drive by Baker and Egbuka on that final drive. And then the Texans. Listen, I love my Buckeyes,
that
but
jury,
I got to ask.
That's the official
jury's
out.
I got to ask my tough question. I cannot believe I'm at this point. Is CJ Stroud legit?
I think they got bigger problems than that, too. That offensive line clearly hasn't figured it out.
Yeah, 188 and an interception. I mean, that's unacceptable.
And the offensive line stinks, too. So keep in mind, they haven't been able to protect him. I agree, though. They have talent. They do. They have talent. That coach, lit the world on fire that first year.
D'Amico Ryans.
And they haven't done anything. They got rid of their offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, last year. And they were supposed to kind of revamp things. It hasn't been there yet. Now, obviously, maybe they light it up tonight. Maybe this is going to be a shootout between Baker Mayfield, who's, by the way, has lost 9 straight primetime starts. He's 0-6 in the primetime with Tampa Bay.
Is that something we got to look into?
Yeah,
our good friends at Hard Rock
before we
Bet?
make our Monday picks, that is something we definitely have to look into. Houston is favored in this too.
Got to say, after having my differences with Baker and Cleveland, I love Baker again, dude. I can't bet against Baker. I'm a Baker, bro.
And Buccaneers also in week 1 and 2 under Todd Bowles are 7-0, so they haven't lost. And but to me, this is a tricky game to pick. We'll make our picks before we end out the program today. But keys to the game: Buccaneers, Texans. What Texans are we going to see? That's the question there. And then Buccaneers, You're very high on them. You've been high on them all offseason.
High on them all offseason. Was high on them last year, too. They won me a ton of money with Hard Rock Bet last year, too. I'm going to continue riding them. Now, the Texans, like, Kyle, I think with them, like 9 points, too. They were in the same category as the Giants.
I mean, are they
are
they the rare team, if they lose this game, are they dead? 0-2 in the AFC South. It's probably the division of all divisions that you'd want to do that in. But
they lost to the Rams. They'd be 0-1 in the division. They wouldn't be done.
Two NFC teams, yeah.
They wouldn't be done. But they got the whole season. Colin, I cannot believe I'm saying it. My questions are at the quarterback position. She put up 9 points.
I'm not there.
Kyle, they gave up.
I'm not there with Stroud.
They gave up 14 points to the Rams last year. CJ's touchdown interception ratio was terrible. I get that the offensive line is the issue, but like I was promised this is a revamped offensive line. Like too many issues right now with that offense. They got to figure out how to score points.
I think it's way too early to kind of point at Stroud.
And I guess
we've seen it. We've seen it with him. We've seen him light it up.
We
know it's possible.
But it was his rookie year. It's the book out, as they always say. Like
we know he's capable. We've seen it before.
And I was going to say similar to the Giants, where listen. I got on Russell Wilson. He threw for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. Maybe C.J. Stroud lights the world on fire tonight. But 9 points, it's not good enough. And I know the Rams, one of the best defenses in the NFL. But still, got to see something a little bit more from the offense tonight.
0-2 in that spot for them. They have Jacksonville next week. That game.
Is that the get-right game, Kyle?
I mean, call it a get-right game. It's a Sunday, 1 o'clock. That's the classic game that the Texans like to win. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Spiro Ditas on the call, it's CBS.
Hang on. What's wrong with you and Spiro?
They give Spiro the worst game of the week. They give him you know what game he did? Arizona, Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, and trust me, I was sweating it out. You didn't have to tell me that one. By the way, not to get confused with my great friend Spiro at Good Greek. Spiro Ditas, the broadcaster.
Right. It's going to be Texans-Jags. If the Texans lose this game, if they drop to 0-2 and they're playing a 1-1 Jacksonville, that is for their playoff lives. I'm willing to get that hype. 0-3, I don't think the Texans are they're not good enough to crawl out of that hole.
Colin,
because after that, they get the Niners, Chiefs, Seahawks, Rams consecutively.
Dare I say 0-2 is a death march? It really is.
Not for them because it's 2 NFC opponents.
But you give it, like, in general in the NFL, if you go 0-2, you're behind the 8 ball immediately.
Right.
And it's like the odds do not favor you. That's why everyone was doomsday in Kansas City.
That's why it was important for somebody like Seattle to get in the win column. That's why it was important for a lot of these teams that did not have a good week 1 to circle back. I agree with you in the sense that the middling team can't afford it. Mm-hmm. And Texans are a middling team. If you're the Ravens, you could get away with it. If you're, Cincinnati couldn't even get away with it.
Mm-hmm. That New England loss bit them in the butt last year.
They couldn't even get away with it.
Right.
The Chiefs can get away with it. The Ravens can get away with it. And I don't know if the Texans are good enough to get away with it.
It's a home game, too, for the Texans. Keep that in mind as well. Good crowd there, good football fans in Houston. I don't care what the record says for Baker in a big game. I'm down on this Texan team. I really am tonight.
And we got the nightcap, of course. You got Los Angeles Chargers against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm always going to say Oakland, by the way.
It's okay.
And the Chargers sitting at 1-0. The Raiders sitting at 1-0 have surprised some people. 10 o'clock ESPN there. I think all eyes are on the Chargers and whether they're going to build on some magic. And in my opinion, this is the classic game that the Chargers like to lose.
Agreed.
And sort of reset everybody's expectation. Oh, you think the Chargers are new and improved and they're here to stay? Well, here's where the Chargers really like to kick things into gear and pull a Jacksonville, pull a Cleveland, because that's one of the teams that, like Jacksonville, Cleveland, the Panthers, they could lose that game to the Minnesota Vikings in week 1 of the NFL on Monday Night Football. They could drop a game. They like to blow leads. They like to temper expectations. They will never take on the blazing trail and run with it. They never do.
It's like we always said the Chargers are allergic to a big game. They showed up in their big game. I'm high on I love Las Vegas tonight. I do. I would take that plus 3.5 spread.
They're plus 3.5 in their building.
I would probably take plus 3.5 with the Raiders tonight. I'm going to be on that. I think Justin Herbert, I think the Chargers heard all week how great they are. I'm interested to see how they respond.
Classic Charger.
I'm interested to see how they respond. Because they were told how great they were heading into the playoffs, and Herbert threw 4 interceptions. Bias here. I think karma's coming for Harbaugh, too, at some point.
It's nothing to do with the karma and Jim Harbaugh for not getting punished on the Michigan
Keep in mind, too, bias aside.
Really? Now bias
aside. Harbaugh and Carroll That's a relationship that goes back to when Carroll's was with Seattle and Harbaugh was with the 49ers. So I'm interested to see that coaching matchup.
That's the thing.
As well.
That's why this game is so fun, because these divisional games are always really good, and the coaching matchups are always really fun.
And this is
going to be over at 1:30 in the morning.
And I'll be up.
Oh, God.
You won't be up.
I think I will be reluctantly.
But hang on. You don't have to. You could sleep in tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're
not trying to get. I'm trying
You're
not
still
to.
not working out, though.
I worked out today, but I'm trying to get back into it.
Took you what? 7 days? You took
7 days off.
Yeah, you took 7 days off.
Yeah.
You told me you were taking 10.
Yeah, 7 days. I need to move.
Right.
I need to move.
Exactly.
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope to not get active.
I'm the same way.
I could probably get up at 8 or 7 and run, but who knows?
But Kyle, dare I say I might even be on the Raiders in the money line tonight at home.
We'll make our picks on the flip side. Stick around for it as we got our Monday's best bet coming up on the other side. We will take our best player prop, take what we have in each game. We'll put together a little bit of parlay. We'll do it all with our friends at Hard Rock Bet. That's that and more to come. We'll loop in Damian Perez. He'll make our picks with us. It's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Damian Perez. The fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you love football, you're in the right place. Monday Night Football is live from Houston. The Buccaneers sail into town to take on the Texans. Can C.J. Stroud handle the cannon fire from Baker and the Bucs? Kickoff is at 7 here on ESPN 106.3.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Time now for the Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. Every Player of the Week is eligible to win a scholarship at the end of the year. This year, a $25,000 scholarship will be awarded to an athlete, with $10,000 going to the winner's high school athletic department. Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond. Here's Cade Chumsland.
Our Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week is Cardinal Newman volleyball captain Diana Acevedo. Diana is the primary setter for the Crusaders, the unsung hero of the team, enabling the offensive motor on the court and leading by example off the court.
Honestly, yeah, it's hard not being like leader of everything, but just being able to hold every girl together. We have very different personalities, shy girls, very talkative girls, so just having everybody come together is, I think, what I'm really good at.
Congratulations, Diana, for being selected this week's Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week.
Miami fans, it's Thursday Night Football. Join the ESPN West Palm Street team at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart this Thursday, September 18th from 8 to 10 p.m. Buffalo takes on Miami. You can enjoy $15 Miller Lite buckets and $30 Sun Cruisers buckets during the game. Enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to a Miami football game. Come hang with us at Charlie's Bar and Grill in Stewart. Must be 21 or older to participate, and please drink responsibly.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Overtime intensity, hard rock energy.
Dude, Max Crosby is so damn angry.
This is the fifth quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
The fifth quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. You got Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo, Damian Perez taking you up until kickoff. You got the Buccaneers and the Texans, which you could hear right here on ESPN 106.3 right at 7 o'clock. So you can catch that on your radio dial. And also you can catch us, Russo and Rizzo, 4 to 6 p.m. Every weekday. And, of course, up till 7 on Mondays. We got a doubleheader of Monday Night Football tonight. So because of that, you got a lot to bet and a lot of opportunities to be had. The Hard Rock Bet app is your place to be, Mike, if you want to bet some of these games. And I think for a doubleheader, there's no better reason to get it started on the Hard Rock Bet app.
Absolutely. And I'm on that Discover tab right now, and I'm seeing the parlays, and I could sprinkle a little bit that other maybe Hard Rock Bet users are on. It's called the Fan Favorites. And right now, Baker Mayfield, 25-plus rushing yards. Bucky Irving, 65-plus rushing yards. And then also on the parlay, C.J. Stroud, plus 25-plus rushing yards. Nick Chubb, 65. So basically, you're going quarterback and running back plus rushing yards for each team. And Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, C.J. Stroud, and Nick Chubb. You throw $10, you win $260. If you see, and then that's all on the Discover tab right now. You can get your odds boosted as well. So listen to this odds boost. Texans to win. C.J. Stroud, 2+ passing touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, 2+ passing touchdowns. It was at plus 400, but since I saw it at the moment I did, I'm getting plus 525. Those are juiced up odds. You could get that right now and bet on the Hard Rock app with those juiced up bets with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet on the app. You can download it on the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, our good friends at Hard Rock Bet. Colin talked about it all show. You know, we got all the football in the world with college and the NFL, but baseball season's churning up as well. It's towards the back end of the games. It's the fun time in October. Download the app today. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in the state of Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. That's 1-888-ADMIT-IT. I got the app up. Colin and I are going to come up with our parlay right now. So if you listen, as long as you're not driving on, we don't want anyone on their phone in the car, all right? But if you're listening along, get your app out, get that Hard Rock Bet app out with us, and let's do our parlay for Monday Night Football.
We got a packed slate ahead. Damian Perez is our producer behind the glass today. Damian, we got a doubleheader tonight. Are you a night owl, by the way? Are you going to stay up and watch both these full games?
I will try to watch every snap, and I probably will.
You're comfortable with that, with the 10 o'clock start time?
Yeah, I am.
You're a night owl as well. Jeez.
Go to bed at 2, wake up at 8. What's wrong with that?
I don't prefer it. I mean, if I had the option, 10 is a bit too late. But
10 is stupid.
Realistically, Kyle, go to bed at 2, snooze my alarm till 8:45.
Yeah.
What's the,
I mean, it's fine. Like, I mean, we're going to get through it. I mean, it's not, the world's not ending. But if I could, abolish the Monday Night Football doubleheader, I would. That's just all I'll say. All right, so we got 2 games here. Let's do this properly. I think we should put together a parlay to start. And then we can include both games, player props and against the spread that we like. I'm thinking 4 or 5 legs here to really kick off our Monday. And let's start with each game. Are we intrigued in any of the point spreads on either side? The Buccaneers are plus 2.5, and the Chargers are minus 3.5. So you have the Chargers as the betting favorite on the road, and you have Tampa Bay as the underdog on the road. Anything we like?
I like the dogs, both sides. I like the Buccaneers, and I like the Raiders.
So
Give me the home dog.
You like banking on Texans to not have another good game?
Correct. I just think Baker Mayfield is the more proven commodity on the other side recently, and I lean towards the Raiders at home after the Chargers have been told how great they are.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I was actually shocked when the Bucs were the underdogs in this game.
Now, the one thing I'll say, I agree with taking the Raiders.
The Raiders?
I agree with the Raiders. Vegas always knows.
I don't know about the Raiders, guys.
Colin is onto something. How about this? So
Raiders are plus 3.5 here. Vegas always knows. They're favored for a reason.
How confident are you in the Raiders? Now, you're not confident in the Raiders to win. because they're plus 155 on the money
Well,
line.
we're creating a parlay, so we don't necessarily need the money line if we don't want it.
Fair
But
enough.
I understand what you're saying.
Fair enough.
You want him to do
Choose
outright?
your odds.
I like the plus 3.5 more.
Okay, all right, let's do that. I added it.
Here's
Mike
the
loves
thing.
his odds.
Here's the thing. Texans, they're minus 2.5. A la Atlanta, Seattle, they're desperate. They're 0-1. The Buccaneers got a game out of the way last
Where's
week.
all right, sell me on the mojo there. Sell
The
me
Texans mojo?
Sell me on something good on the Texans right now. They can't run the ball.
All
They
right,
have
it's
Nick
fine.
Chubb.
Hold on,
They
hold
have
on.
Nick Chubb
I
running the
understand.
ball.
I
Keep that in mind.
I understand.
Damian Pierce is actually out tonight as well.
I understand. The one thing I'll say is they're desperate. They are desperate
All right.
to stay within it.
So you
I
want
don't know-
2.5? You want 2.5? You think Texans
How
by
about we
field
do an
goal?
over-under instead? I like that more.
You want to meet me halfway?
I
I'd
say
probably
we do the
go
over.
under. I'd probably go under.
You go under? I
mean-
took the under that Patriot-Dolphin game.
You're
It was one of
dead
the
wrong.
worst bets I've
Dead
ever.
wrong there.
Worst bets in the history of bets.
Now, the last week, I believe the Buccaneers put up 27, and the Texans, they put up 23.
23.
Sorry, and the Texans put up 9. So
Remember, offense exploded this week. After a bad week 1.
Yeah, and the Giants. I mean, geez,
Let's
look
root
no
for
further.
points. What are we gonna do with the under? It's like the Orange Bowl. You
Oh,
and I
God.
sitting
Do
in
you
the
remember
stand
that godforsaken-
for Penn State, Notre Dame? We're rooting, under 40 and a
It's
half.
prime time
All right,
too.
20. All right, listen. If they win 20, if it's a
We need
car-
20. We need 20. We need
23-20. We need 23-20.
We need 23-20.
What
That's
is
so
it?
doable.
But you just told me Vegas knows. What do they know about that 42? All right, we'll go over. We'll go over. Fine, we'll go over.
That's a fun bet.
We'll go
Vegas
over.
knows something.
All
You
right.
like this, Damien? You like the over?
I'm
more?
always down for
We're
the
on
over.
Raiders.
I love betting the over.
Raiders plus 3.5. We're on the over at 42. All right, next.
All right, I like that. All right, because I don't want to touch that Texan line, but Vegas does always know. So that's why I'm nervous.
All right, is there now? Forgive me. Remind me what you wanted to do here. So we have an over/under, and we have
Let's
a
do
game.
so let's do a player prop on each side to start. All
Okay,
right. So
all right.
in terms of player props on each side, there's a couple different directions you could go. Obviously, you could do like touchdown scores or something
All
like
right,
that.
I got Tampa Bay and Houston up right now. Bucky Irving anytime touchdown is minus 175. Why is that so low? Give me plus odds. Nico Collins plus 140. Mike Evans
How
plus
about this?
145.
How about this? Emeka Egbuka.
That's
over,
where I'm at.
Over 51.5 passing yards.
Hang
I
on.
love that
Hang
today.
on. Emeka Egbuka to get in the end zone anytime is
Plus
plus
200.
200. That's
Yep.
the bet. He had 2 touchdowns in week 1.
All right.
And
We need the over. We need points anyway, so we're doubling down.
I need Emeka to go. By the way, fantasy-wise, I need to get Egbuka and Baker to go
All
nuclear.
right, this is a fantasy bet. I don't like this at all. I don't like the sign
Plus,
of that at all.
dude, but he scored twice
All right.
last
No,
week.
but to add some reasoning, Stingley will probably be on Evans, so Egbuka will get those long shots into the end zone.
Thank you, Damien. All right, we're on Emeka.
They have a great secondary regardless, but yes.
Run Emeka at plus 200.
All right, so plus
you get
200.
all right, you pick the next one.
All right, so let's go to the other game because we got Los Angeles. The thing is, I hate a player prop in a game that's going to be at 3 in the morning, but nonetheless.
Stop it. You're going to be up. I'm not listening to this.
I am going to be up, unfortunately. Player props. All right, let's go on the thing is the Raiders are so hard to predict, but I'm going to stay on the Chargers side, weirdly enough. Now, the over-under on the passing yards, both sides, I believe, are actually kind of low. 256 for Herbert and 250 for Geno. Both players had 300 yards last week.
Stay in the flames.
I don't like either of those, actually. You know what I do
give,
like?
Give me some plus odds on this. Kyle, give me plus odds on this.
Geno Smith to get over a touchdown and a half passing.
Yeah, and it's
Plus
plus
105.
odds. It's plus
Plus
odds, too.
105.
I love that.
I like 2 touchdowns from Geno.
One's going to be to Brock Bowers. The other one's going to be to Jacoby Myers. All right, so we have 4 legs right now.
That's
right?
4 legs plus 1,300 we're sitting at.
Yep.
You want to add one more? I think we should take it and run. Because that's a 10 to 140.
What about, I'm looking at kicking.
Kicking?
Daniel Carlson.
To what?
Over 1.5 field goals.
Do we want Geno to score touchdowns or them to get field
Hang on
goals?
here. We're trying to.
We're
We're
betting
How about
against ourselves.
Fairbairn? I feel like Fairbairn is kind of a
trying to
lock for
win
2.
money, and this is ultimate. Actually, let's just do it. I was gonna say bet quarter. I'll just live bet tonight. Let's that'll be it. 4 legs.
If you want to do a kicker,
I just feel like isn't that the theme of the week? Is the kicking right now with the Indianapolis Colts winning?
I don't hate that at all. I actually don't hate that at all. I don't hate that theme. Kyrie Fairbairn over 1.5. Chase McLaughlin is the
he had a bad week last week.
Yeah, he had a bad week last week. Kicking points you could bet on as well in the Hard Rock bet app.
I'll fade a kicker. You want to fade a kicker?
On the points or made?
Just give me plus odds, mate.
Kyrie Fairbairn to make under 1.5 field goals is plus 115.
He had 3 last week.
And they don't score.
And that offense is anemic.
No, thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you. All right, let's go to Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Single game parlay. The player prop odds that they have on the actual app. Let's do kicking again. I agree with the kicking.
There's a theme here. I'm telling you,
Cameron
there's a theme here.
Thing is, it's minus 160 to make. How about this? Daniel Carlson over 1.5 is still plus 105. It's plus odds there.
Hang on,
but you're betting against Geno.
Let's bet against Herbert. Let's go under Cameron Dicker 1.5. It's plus odds.
All right.
I couldn't even tell you who the Charger kicker was. I know Carlson for the Raiders, so that's the thing.
All right. Fine.
We're going under.
I just think we're betting against ourselves a little bit because if we're betting anti-Herbert, we're betting on the offense not to do well in the red zone.
But
that means they'll kick field goals.
But we're also betting on them not to score at all and for Herbert to throw picks. That fraud.
There's some bias here. With
I don't know. That makes me nervous. We're taking that out.
All right, then let's just go. Listen, then let's just go with what we have. That's $20. Let's see here.
Mike wants to see Herbert crumble.
I just cannot stand Harbaugh. That's cheating. You know what?
It's all about Harbaugh.
Cannot stand Harbaugh.
It's all about Harbaugh to you.
Listen, plus 3,000 odds. I think we're sitting Purdy, personally.
You're seeing plus 3,000 odds for that?
We're sitting Purdy here with our 4 bets.
That's plus 3,000? It's 42.5 now is the over-under, by the way, on Hard Rock Bet. How about that?
Jeez, oh, man.
Wow. All right, I like it. Let's place it. That's a good bet. No problem with me. Geno Smith to get over 1.5 passing touchdowns. We need the Raiders to cover. We need the over in the Tampa Bay game, 42.5, which is starting in just about 7 minutes. And we need Emeka Egbuka to score at any point in the game. Sign me up.
I'm in.
Sign me up.
I'm all in, mate.
All right, no problem. All right, I like it. That's good odds. I'm not seeing the plus 3,000. I'm seeing plus 1,400.
I read it wrong, brother.
Lock it in, our Monday best bet with Hard Rock Bet on the 5th quarter, presented by Hard Rock Bet. All right, so you've alluded to it. You're anticipating the Chargers not play well tonight.
Yeah, I got the Raiders and the Buccaneers tonight.
And Damien, do you have the Raiders and or the Buccaneers? Or do you,
I got the Bucs and I got the Chargers tonight. I'm just staying in the flames with the Chargers. From what I saw last week, I think they have a great week against tonight.
You're going to learn something about the Chargers tonight because they're the classic team that is, when you think that everything's going right, something goes wrong.
Correct.
So there's always a hole in the ship.
And hang on, it's the home opener at the Death Star.
At the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas? That means nothing.
It's what we call the Death Star.
That means nothing. One thing I'll say about the Chargers is
good fan base.
They're like the Mets. They're always going to – they're like Penn State and the Mets. They're always going to charge her. The Chargers are always going to charge her. That's what would make me nervous about that. So I agree with Mike in the sense that Las Vegas is definitely going to be right there with them.
But you don't agree with the Harbaugh take at all?
This has nothing to do with Harbaugh. This is your personal bias of you attacking Jim Harbaugh because you thought it was unfair how Michigan was not suspended.
He's cheating. He cheated. Dame, right? He cheated.
For the sake of Mike, he cheated.
Fine.
Thank you, Dame. Thank you, Dame.
It's nothing to do with how they're going to do tonight. But nonetheless, that closes out our 5th quarter, which you could watch and listen to the full Monday Night Football Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Houston Texans. That is going to be at 7. You got the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders, which is going to be at 10. And 2 Monday Night Football doubleheader. You had a great weekend of football over the weekend. And you didn't watch any of the fight, did you, Mike?
I didn't. To be honest, I'm like so disconnected from big-time boxing. It's crazy.
Damien, did you watch Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford?
I did not watch the actual fight, but I did watch the highlights.
So you saw what happened back and forth. Okay, interesting.
I saw Angel Reese was in the locker room of that one guy, and then
with Terrence Crawford,
and then there was someone else in the other locker room with.
That's what they do. It's like these boxers. They hang out in the locker room, and then the stars just come in and say what up.
Right.
Very bizarre.
Yeah.
But that's like a classic famous people meetup.
Is it
celebrities?
Yeah, you're right.
Boxing matches.
I wish, Kyle. You know, our fathers grew up with big time boxing. I don't know what a big-time boxing matchup looks like outside of Mayweather and Pacquiao.
It was a good fight. Terrence Crawford took him down, but, I mean...
Cool to see it on Netflix, though.
Cool to see it on Netflix. Thought Netflix did a halfway decent job. That I completely agree with. And there's something, too, not having a pay-per-view, which I'm happy about. That's Mike Rizzo. That's Damian Perez. Colin Russo here. The 5th quarter presented by Hard Rock Bet. We'll be back at it next Monday from 6 to 7 p.m., but you can listen to Russo and Rizzo tomorrow, 4 to 6. Like always, saying so long. We'll see you next time. Enjoy Monday Night Football. It's been Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions